him! Charkie.
Yes.
The time has come. The time has finally come. Why did the time come? Is there any special occasion? Not really. I just decided that today is the day, tonight's the night, that we play Action 52 on stream. This is one of the big ones. It is one of a small handful of what I would classify as compilation bad games, bad game compilations. You have like mini-game collections in the modern era, you know, like all those Wii Shovelware games, but in terms of games where it's like every game included in them is known to be bad, it's this, it's Don't Buy This on the ZX Spectrum, and it's Cassette 50. So two of those are cassettes, and this is the cartridge one. You know, obviously we're barring like bootleg cartridges, though those do factor into the story. Bootleg multi-game carts are what directly inspired the production of Action 52. But that's
I honestly wouldn't place this too far out of the realm of the bootleg cartridges themselves.
Yeah,
just as it stands.
And that there's absolutely reasons for that in terms of the production and the history of this game, which we're going to get into over the course of this here stream. This is not just watch us play the Action 52 and be like, man, this stinks. No, I came equipped with the facts. I have a whole document here. I bought a book. I read a book prior to this stream. It didn't have anything I didn't already know, I don't think, but it was a very good way to condense all that information. The name of that book is Licensed to Cheetah Print Money, an Action 52 story by Andrew Reap. And I bought it off of Amazon. It's at $7.99 on there. You can get it for free with Amazon Kindle. This is our promotion for Amazon. They're paying for the show now. But it's a very good condensed story of all the incidents and tribulations surrounding Action 52 and the people involved in its production. So we'll be cribbing from that and from some of the blogs that it cribs from in turn. And we'll try to get across as much of the story of the NES version, at least, as we can. There's a whole Genesis version. Maybe that'll be a later stream. Maybe that'll be another night. We can get into some of the Farsight production story. But enough of that, enough preamble. Let's get into not the game just yet. There's one more thing I want to show, and it is a commercial for Action 52. Because there was an animated commercial for Action 52, and I don't have a great way to show you this, Charky, unfortunately, except having you look at the stream for a minute here. And
sure.
We will watch this little ad spot.
I'll play it through in my memory.
All right, very good.
I say, dear chaps, shouldn't you go on a diet?
Are you talking to me? Maybe if these guys would make these holes bigger, I could fit easier, know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, I'll help you out.
No worries, no.
No worries, no.
Hey guys, we have work to do. We come from the Action 52 game world where every game is...
Yeah, we're talking action and love.
Cut him off before he can say where every game is just awful. It's just the pits.
Yeah,
He comes in with the save here, Aries.
And man, they're smooth like ice.
Hey, what about you guys?
Oh yeah, we're in there too. The Cheetahmen.
Yes, but that's another story. If you want the ultimate game challenge, you have to get Action 52.
Yeah, it's so cool. 52 games in one, and you can even play it on Nintendo. Man, it's awesome. Get yours now.
Now playing at a store near you.
So what'd you think of that? Was that very cool? Did that incentivize you to buy Action 52 on cartridge for $200?
It's 52 games, and I can play them on a Nintendo. I don't just have to have them sitting here unaccessible in front of me. I would have bought for that alone, but I can play it on Nintendo too? Holy shit.
Now, the reason for that is because of the Genesis version, which would have been out by the time the commercial came out. So they're saying, like, hey, we're trying to advertise the Genesis version, even though they're showing clips from the NES version. And they're saying, like, but there's also an NES version. You know, the one you just saw gameplay clips of. So never mind that.
I literally was going through it in my memory since I couldn't really pay attention to the thing. I wanted to see, could I sync it up just in time to say, like, I say, old chap, shouldn't you be going on a diet or something? But
Rapid Fiasco saying that no, Aries, no, is a line that them and their friends quote constantly. Another line from the commercial with incredible delivery.
I do like the moment that they start talking about the marquee game, Cheetahmen, the one that the commercial is based on. Like, the posh one is like, no, let's not talk about that.
Yeah, let's
that one.
Move on as quickly as possible. So, this is the legendary intro to Action 52 that I'm about to start us off with right now. And from there, we'll get to the menu, and I will start to recite some of the details of the game once we get into it. But Lights, Camera, Action 52, here we go.
Make your selection now.
It takes Action 52 to make a thing go right.
I love how, like, it's really the most low-rent bootleg NES games that had the crispest voice samples.
Yeah, because when there's not a lot of room on the cartridge for, like, when you didn't fill up too much of it with a code or assets or anything of that nature, you can put voice samples on there instead.
like what's that Bible game, Bible Buffet, isn't it, where there's like a voice that's like all right, like really crisp.
It's something like that. I think you're on the right track with that one. I think you're on the right page with it. Now, first things first, I do want to say that the first game that is selected on this menu is Ooze, which is number 5. And there are 2 reasons for this. One, this whole menu system is stolen from the cartridge that inspired the production of this game. Again, we'll get into that in just a minute, how the origins of the idea of this game. So this menu system is stolen. These games are original. They were programmed by a 4-person, at one time 5-person team. But, and we'll get into those developers as well in a little bit. Yeah, so the first game that was selected on that other cartridge, that existing cartridge that inspired this, it also had number 5 selected as the first game, and they did not know how to work around that to make it go to number 1. The other thing is that Ooze was sort of the big game coming out of this, next to, obviously, Cheetahmen. But Ooze had a competition attached to it, believe it or not.
We're gonna win it.
Yeah, that's right. We're gonna win, and I'm gonna bring up the graphic here. The $104,000 cash prize for this. It's split into 2 $52,000 prizes, you see. If you complete game number 5, Ooze, on the Action 52, you take a screenshot of your screen. There's a personalized code at the end of it, and you'll get $52,000 cash up front, and $52,000 in a scholarship as well.
A screenshot of your screen, or as they would call in the 1990s, a photograph.
Did I say screenshot? Yeah, a photograph of your screen. Classic. Hello, Ron Mower. Thank you for saying you're a winner. And what's up? Nothing much. We're just playing this game to answer chat real quick. That's the engagement you can expect from the Bad Game Health. Sorry. Well, we're going to get into it in a little bit. We're going to start with game number 1, because that feels like a good place to start. This is the only 2-player simultaneous game in the collection, and you have Parsec loaded up. Yep. We're gonna jump right into it. It doesn't indicate that's a 2-player game at the start, and I will also read the instruction manual description of this game, which are usually just like 1 or 2 sentences. It is the last of the Dragon Wars. You must kill the dragon riders in the midnight skies and bring victory to the kingdom.
Alright, that's the A button, right? To do that?
Yep.
Oh, I have no control right now.
Oh, let's see.
We might be... Yeah. Make sure I'm set to port 2.
At port 2, port 1. Give me a little wiggle.
Yep.
Nothing?
Screen went black. Nothing.
Well, I'll get 1 free kill in. Let's...
I'm in.
All it took was dying once, I guess, so that's off to a rip-roaring start. So the goal is to fight each other to shoot these fireballs.
Alright, what's the strat here? What's the meta?
Hope your opponent stops moving at some point.
Alright, I did see what I did wrong the first time to make the controls not work. Oh,
I'm way off screen. Oh, can I even get back on screen?
yeah, you can. Not if I kill you first.
Yeah, so off screen is probably a bad scene. Okay, I can go down, I can go left to... Oh wait, that castle is actually the only solid object I've seen so far.
Yes, so you got yourself caught on something off screen, and then I went off screen and just like hit behind you and shot at you.
Well, whatever gets you there.
I think I won that one.
It's hard to say because they don't really say who wins and who loses.
What was that?
A power-up of some sort.
It's for a split second. think they say who wins and loses. Unless I'm wrong.
I think there's a score, like, there's a meter that says who's won how many matches. I think
Yeah,
you have
2 to
4,
4.
I have 2.
Okay.
This is like Superman 64 multiplayer, which I've made you play multiple times in your
Yes.
life.
Except I'm better at this, apparently, than you are, which is a difference.
One could almost say that I'm not putting much effort into it.
All right, bring up the year winner.
Congratulations, Charky.
Thank
and
you.
you want to know what your prize is?
Yeah, Firefox crashing.
Well, that's always good. No, the prize I'm going to give you is you get to pick up the next games. So you can navigate the menu at this point.
Right.
You should be able to.
Well, I will as soon as I get back to Firefox and join the chat again.
Very good. And while you play some of these games, I'm going to go over some of the early
Sure, go for it.
story stuff here.
All right, so we're going at Stareville.
Stareville, or as it's also known, Star Evil. You want to know the story
yes.
behind this one?
Go for it.
The star gets brighter until there is no night. Yeah, it's this one. Then the fire creatures come out to rule and defeat you, but kill them all and bring back the night. So how's it treating you? How's it going?
I forgot that it was this game because I wanted to dodge like right away and be like, oh yeah, of course. Like that's how you play this game.
That's how they get you, is that it's hard to
Yeah.
remember. So many names are so generic that you don't have a memory for which game is which, really. So, I want to start here by saying how this came to be. And there's going to be some quotes. I'm going to quote liberally from License to Cheetah Print Money, an Action 52 story. This is detailing the origin story of Vince Perry, owner of the studio Active Enterprises.
And I seem to have run out of gas.
Oh, you might have already run into a glitch where you're not seeing the boss. So you might, I don't know if you can move up and kill those 2 guys on the left-hand side of the screen as they wrap back around.
Well, we could do that.
So Vince Perry is an Italian-American ex-investment banker who left the Bulls and Bears of Brooklyn, New York behind for the bright sunny vistas and warmer climates of Miami, Florida. Pushing 50, Perry had 2 offspring, a son named Vince Jr., and a software company called Active Enterprises. And so to get started here, when I mentioned the cartridge that he had seen before...
You know, if I ever have a kid, I hope they're an investment company.
We should all dream. We should all have such high hopes. Funnily enough, it was Junior's penchant for the NES that planted the seeds for his father to pursue the gaming business at the turn of the 1990s. Perry remarked how he would plonk down the then average retail cost of $50 to $60 for Nintendo cartridges for his kid. Following a seemingly innocuous trip to a local flea market, Perry brought his son what appeared to be just another NES game. Sometime later, he watched Junior play and quickly realized this was something totally different. It turned out to be a multi-cart from Taiwan that stored 50 different games in all the same space. Perry was floored. He wasn't a big gamer, but even he couldn't help but marvel at how a bootleg cartridge was capable of loading more than one title and more than one genre. He went around his neighborhood showing off the 40-in-1 Taiwanese bundle to much positive reception. Inspired by the whole experience, Perry decided he would capture and channel the spirit of his son's pirated compilation of games into a fully legal, fully licensed endeavor that would have the backing of the Big N itself. Just like that, both Active Enterprises and Action 52 was born. So he found a bootleg cartridge that probably had 50-something. They say 40 in the book, but I've seen documentation, I've seen people online who have tried to track down the original cartridge, and it appeared to be another 50 game in one type cartridge. So, who's to say?
I can do one better!
2 better, as a matter of fact. So he brings it home, his kid obviously experiences it, and he gets the idea to get in the games industry, which he had not been in before, because it wasn't obvious. And the problem was that he was not a gamer by any stretch. He had no concept of programming. And so he happens to have some investments, though. He happens to own an office building where he meets a man by the name of Mario Gonzalez, where he was taking music lessons at this school. And he also happened to be a self-taught programmer. He had been using the, I think, Atari 400 or 800 to teach himself. he had I think he had like a part-time job as a sound designer or a sound engineer at what happened to be a Miami recording studio. That's the space that Vince Perry actually owned. He heard Vince mentioning the cartridge and trying to get a team together to make a legal version of that kind of multi-cart concept, and that's enough of Star Evil.
Yes, I was about to say, I think it's time to move on to not that far. All right.
Select is what goes through the different pages. Yes. Yeah. So let me go ahead and
brief on Illuminator.
Yeah, let me go ahead and get that. Do you want it before we start the game, or do you want it just as you're playing it?
I figure while I'm playing it, you're going to be reading through some more history, so let's get it before we start.
All right, that's a good idea. That'll be the format. We're figuring this out on the fly, folks. The Illuminator must find his sister in the dark. He must also find batteries if his get weak, and can use a special spotlight to kill the enemies. Can also get additional flashlights, but he must be careful of enemies like shadows, vampires, and others.
Oh, I remember this game. All right.
There's apparently a sprite for the sister on the cartridge, but it goes unused. So yeah, Mario Gonzalez is really the progenitor of like all like the programming parts of Action 52, because he gets brought on. He likes the idea. He brings some friends in, Javier Perez and Albert Hernandez, or two other people that he knows from college, who also happen to be like programmers. But Vince Perry, it knows well enough to be like, okay, show me you can make a video game. And so they put together a version of Tetris on like an Amiga 500, and that's enough for Vince Perry to be like, okay, you're hired. He knows that they tell him basically like, you know, we know how to do stuff on Amiga, but we can't necessarily do stuff on the NES. It's a different architecture, it's different programming languages. So he books him a plane to Salt Lake City, Utah, and to the studio Sculptured Software, who's doing a workshop basically, where they teach people how to program for the NES. And in the process, while they're doing this class, they're actually programming The Empire Strikes Back, the NES version of The Empire Strikes Back that they were working on. And so they pick a lot of cues and clues up from that. They're showing like how they do text boxes, for example, in the game, which is exactly the way they do it in this game. Yeah, you move on to the next stage. There are a succession of stages in this one. And then they get back from that conference, and Vince Perry assumes they've learned everything they need to learn, and gives them 3 months to complete work on what was not known as the Action 52 then, but was originally supposed to be branded as the Action Game Master. That's the working title for Action 52. You're doing quite good at this, I'm gonna say, by the way. Not that it's super difficult.
Yeah, thanks, I hit the A button.
Yeah. Well, you're doing a fine job of it. So Mario basically becomes the project lead at this point. He says that, this is a quote from him, "I knew the task at hand was very daunting given the time constraints, so I came up with the idea of only creating a handful of engines, as he calls it, and a template for the graphics to facilitate a smoother development cycle." So that explains why, like, they knew from the very start. What is that death graphic? What do you become when you die there?
A gravestone.
That what it's supposed to be?
I think so.
Oh, I'll go with it. So here's another interesting thing that I gleaned from the book that I remembered, is that, in case you're wondering who funded this game, where the money was coming from, for the next 3 months, a very Miami recording studio where the team was formed became their headquarters, where they plugged away at the Action Game Master, and kept Perry and even investors for the project from Europe and Saudi Arabia up to date on how production was going via a hotline. So the claim that Vince Perry kept on making and kept telling the staff is this three-man crew that he had cooped up in this little recording studio, which came to be known as The Cave by the developers working on the game. I like how the game slows down. You can hear the audio slow down, too. Yeah, so apparently it's Saudi...
This level is more visible than any other level so far.
Yeah, because it has all these blocks in the background that don't necessarily fade out when the lights go out. So yeah, Saudi investment, present back then as it was today, I suppose. And
by a bat.
And from what I gather, like, Vince would bring like some of his associates to the studios and be like, you know, here's my guys working on this game. Here's my creative geniuses. And apparently, like, the one person they never brought over there was any of the Saudi investors. So there was doubts from the likes of Mario and some of the other developers who have since come forward in the years since Action 52's release to be like, yeah, we think it was all bullshit. And the fact that none of them got paid for their work after 3 months would also lend some credence to the fact that the money was kind of just, like, never actually existed. So, that was Illuminator, I'm gonna say.
Alright. We're not gonna try and beat that one?
No. I think we'll try to beat, like, Ooze or something. G-Force...
Right.
I don't want to say that.
Fight.
I don't want to
G-Force fight.
Fighter, I think, is what it's supposed to be. But it's a very...
Well, it's just G-Force here.
Well, it's G-Force Fighters in the manual, and the description is, watch your fuel level, use it wisely, and escape the force that holds you. The enemies are strong, but the G-Force of the planet will take us as we get powerless. If you stay at the bottom of the screen, nothing will hit you.
Oh. Well, no, the bottom of the screen will hit me.
Yeah, that was just a my bit of memory and a note I'm reading here. So it's yet another space shooter on this cartridge. There's a lot of these, as it turns out. By the way, if someone would redeem a drink up for me, please, I want to crack this drink open.
What hit me there?
Tigerbug says, wow, 52 games in one cartridge, what an incredible deal. What more do you need? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a little less than $4 per game, if you think of it that way.
Yeah, it's like $3.80 or something like that. Or as the AVGN would put out, he brought it up, he raised like $4 per game in his infamous video, which we'll get to, because it is part of the story, for better or for worse. The AVGN is a part of the story, the Action 52 saga, in more ways than just the one. Game over.
I'm gonna try that again.
You're gonna give that another go?
Okay, that kills me.
Yeah, I think the lines at the bottom are like a hurt box of some sort.
Go on with your story. I'm just getting
No, that's all I had for now. I was gonna break it up into chunks so I'm not just like laying on like a whole bunch of...
okay. Okay.
Yeah, so this early impressions of these first 4 games that we've played so far.
Illuminator is somehow the best one because it made the most sense. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What?
Oh, you cleared a stage. This is stage 2.
Oh, that's... Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we're doing a long play of this one then. You might as well keep going with some of the story because we're gonna beat this one.
Yeah, sure. Let me crack open a drink first, though. I'm gonna crack it up. Even if no one redeems a drink up, I'm drinking up on this one. I got an Arizona can, but not just a regular Arizona tea. It's a hard. It's a premium spiked beverage. Thank you, kindly.
Here's your drink up.
Oh, that's bad. Oh.
Yeah, they tend to be. Oh, I think enemies are gonna hit me on this screen.
Alright, so you're gonna have to fire intermittently, but...
I have to stay
rough.
here and fire.
On second thought, maybe don't redeem drink ups tonight, folks.
Okay.
I'm saying that so people will redeem more of them. You see, that's my trick. That's Cass's trick. Alright.
I would say a weird experience of researching this is watching that AVGN video. And not for the fact of watching an AVGN video. That's not weird in itself. What was weird is that we ended up going to VR chat and going to the AVGN's room and sitting on the couch and watching the video in there.
Yes, the ideal viewing experience, really. By the way, you look back around the stage 1. You won.
Oh, I win. Okay.
Yeah, some of these games just loop indefinitely. Some of them have endings. Z-Reserve saying in chat these games don't really come with endings. A couple of them do. Namely the next one. That is the big one. Alright, die please. Please bring us back to the main menu. I don't remember if there's a button combination that brings you back.
Alright.
But this is just
so does that
as easy.
mean you want to play Ooze?
Yeah, I figure I might as well play.
Time?
Yeah, I should play a couple of these, maybe.
Alright, we're gonna split the $140,000  2 ways. 104,000?
104,000, because 52,000 times.
Right.
2, because it's in 2 parts, you see.
Let me bring up the information here on Ooze.
Please do.
Let me get the documents.
No, I actually have it in front of me. Ooze, spelled with 3 O's in the manual, 2 O's here. Avoid the green ooze.
Yes.
So
it's also spelled Ooze 3 times there.
Yeah, so there's actually like another like insert in the manual that's not documented on the wiki that I'm stealing the manual descriptions from right now. It's the Action 52 fandom wiki, so it's a little sloppy as far as wikis are concerned, but it has the manual quotation, so why not, right? But there's like an insert that has like details of the competition. That's only in the Revision A manual. There are 2 revisions of this cartridge. We're playing the Revision B version, which is a bit more functional. But, yeah, they would have had more information on the synopsis of the game and whatnot. Not much more, but a little more.
So, according to this, in the Revision A, that you had to unlock games 9 and 49 by completing Ooze.
Yeah, that was their excuse, because those games just don't work on that Revision A cartridge, because I think there's a bank switching error in them.
Yes, because it's actually impossible to unlock those in Revision A.
So this is the first...
Yeah,
oh, sorry, you go.
Oh, I was just going to ask you about how it controls.
Yeah, I want to get to that. That's actually exactly what I was going to say. You read my mind, Charkie. So, jumping. This is something that needs to be stressed. This is the first platformer game. This is me running. This is me pressing the jump button. Holding the jump button, as a matter of fact. I tap the jump button to make it actually do a functional jump. If you hold it down, you're screwed. You have air control insofar as if you press jump while standing still, you can go like left and right. But yeah, running jumps as you would traditionally do them in a video game. Not here.
So, there's a YouTube channel called Displaced Gamers.
Yes, I do want to bring that up, thank you.
Yeah. You want to talk about that one then?
No, you talk about while I clear this game, perhaps.
Oh, I was just going to recommend that channel in general, but also say that they have an episode on Act 52 where they go into a little bit about the history of it, but they also kind of talk about, from a programming point of view, why does everything feel bad in this game? Yeah. And the jumping is one of those things, like this specific jumping thing.
It can only read one input at a time. It can only the way that it's programmed, the code base can only read one input at a time. So it's running a constant check to see what button is held down. And so that's why if you hold down the jump button, everything else locks out. These blue guys. I am cheating on this one because I do want to make it to the end. I do want to get to that end screen.
Okay. We got to get the money.
Yeah, this is what's going to fund the stream for years to come.
I mean, $52,000 is going to be in a scholarship. So, I don't know, maybe one of us can go back to school?
I'll get my psych degree. Long-ass stage. Substantive
you can't make it easy. You can't make it easy to get $104,000.
Yeah, please put some respect on Active Enterprises and then their giveaways. That I think they canceled. That's wild because I jump and then you don't have enough space to do.
I'm interested in how you're doing that. How you're just staying in air like that.
Oh, you hold down B. And the blue things in the background are solid objects.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this is so tricky. People say that this game is impossible to beat. I don't know if it's necessarily impossible. I think it's, in fact, very possible. I think the Revision A version might be impossible legitimately because of programming errors. But I think this Rev B version can be beaten, like, in 2 minutes if you know what you're doing.
I'm curious, was that contest, was that part of Rev A or Rev B or both, or?
Rev A. It was part of the original release. It was part of, like, the promotional tactics around it. But by that time they did the revision of the cartridge, which has the fixed games in it, by that point there's, like, this contest ain't happening. There was actually a production error where they only got, like, half the copies they had ordered from the manufacturer. So at some point they realized this game was not going to bring in the money to pay the winner of a contest like that. That was going to be a money loser. And so running that contest was not in their financial best interests. So that's...
Like, the story of Vince Perry is like, you're familiar with, people who can only seem to fail upwards.
Yeah.
Like, they just keep making bad decisions, but things keep working out for them in spite of everything else. Vince Perry feels like the opposite of that, not even the opposite of that. It feels like he is trying to fail upwards, but is failing to fail upwards.
I thought about this before the show. I would say that Vince Perry is kind of like, he was a con man to a certain extent, but like a lovable kind. The kind that you can't get mad at, because they don't even realize that they're like doing something wrong. They just have like a business idea, and in this capitalistic society that we live in, this is my deep political statement here, you know, they don't realize that what they're doing is evil. They don't realize that locking 4 guys in what they call the cave above a donut shop for 3 months, giving them a ridiculous deadline, they don't realize that it's wrong or evil. They're just trying to make money, and they're thinking like, you know, if this does well, these people will make money too. And then ultimately doesn't pay them when it doesn't make any money. So yeah, Vince Perry, probably not a great guy. I don't want to speak too ill of the dead. He is dead. He's the one person that cannot weigh in on Action 52 at this point. I think everyone else has stepped forward, come out of the darkness and into the light to reveal their roles in this game, to talk about it, and so forth. We'll get into more of those characters later. But Vince can't defend himself, and I don't think anyone is particularly inclined to defend him either.
So every time we talk about Vince Perry, I think we're talking about the guy from Motley Crue, but that's Vince Neil.
Yeah.
But I keep thinking, for some reason, like, Vince Perry, like, in between, like, fucking Dr. Feelgood and Saints of Los Angeles was like, I'm gonna make money off of a NES game. Fuck this rock shit.
This is getting trickier. That bullet went right through him. Is this guy just invincible? No, there's just frames where he doesn't get hit. Would you mind reading Frappe Fiasco's message from the chat?
Alright. I have more to say about this streamer lately. You mean us? Yes, me? But I watched someone play through all of these games on Action 52 completion as much as they could be finished, and they spent like 50 hours on this one game. At one point, and only one point, they see an enemy they haven't seen before and never saw again. It's so rare that the cutting room floor listed as an unused enemy.
Yeah, that can happen with this, because the quality of programming here is, I don't want to cast aspersions on the people who work so hard on it, but not great. So random things can happen. It can break in wildly different ways depending on like what revision you're playing, what emulator you're using. It is an unreliable cartridge, to say the least. Famously, the AVGN just details how the cartridge is left on for too long in an actual Nintendo. It starts to burn, it starts to overheat, and the plastic shell around it can start to smell up a room. So, Yeah,
I think I remember on the Displaced Gamer video, they were saying, like, a normal... like, something like a Kirby's Dreamland, a Kirby's Adventure, like, which is a really kind of complex NES game, may have, like, up to about half a meg of program ROM, and, or just maybe a little bit more than half a meg of ROM in general, and that Action 52 has, like, 2 megabytes of RAM. I meant to say RAM instead of ROM, but...
It's an easy mistake to make.
For an NES card, this had so much RAM shoved into it.
Yeah, because they at a certain point they weren't like optimizing any of this code. I'm telling, pretty safe to say. They didn't have the wherewithal to like. Just throw more RAM at the problem. That's kind of like a very bad solution to a very nuanced problem, Okay, what is killing me there?
Speaking of nuance, so I do want to bring something up, because you were saying like you didn't want to spare the developers too much. And I think that goes especially for this, but I think that also goes for just a lot of bad games in general.
Oh, certainly, yeah.
Like, and, we can look at like the recent Kong game too, that just came out, that everyone's been clowning on. And to be fair, it does look like a very clownable game. But, when you look at Action 52 as a game that it was 3 developers, maybe 4 by the end. It was about 3 developers. They took a week to watch people program on this thing, to try and learn how to program for this thing, period. They were given 3 months to make 52 games, and they produced something that is mostly functional. It is amazing.
Yeah, and then, that is kind of the Bad Game Hall of Fame credo, and I'm glad you bring it up because it shows why you're on here, which is that you know well enough, you're on the same page as me, that we're not just here to shit on this needlessly. Like, when it's bad, but, like, we understand these games aren't just made in a vacuum, that there's actual people and, like, work that went into these, and there might be some, like, ambitious ideas in this, maybe. Maybe there's a couple later down the line that have some merit, or some game ideas that you could, like, see being, fully fleshed out to some capacity. I know I'm just cheating egregiously like this because I really want to make it to the ending of it. Because this don't get me wrong, this is like a bad game, right? Like there's no two ways about it that this is barely playable. But like the fact it works at all, miracle.
Yeah.
With like the situation they were in.
Like, no sunlight, basically just stuck in a cave for 3 months.
Apparently, someone did tear down the things that made it, like, that blocked the sunlight at a certain point. I actually have a snippet about that.
I believe it was, like, light-proof insulation or something, because it was, like, I don't know if you mentioned it, but I think it was, like, a recording studio originally.
Yeah, it was a recording studio in Miami. That was stationed above a donut shop. It was within walking distance of a Little Caesars and a Taco Bell, so that's basically all they ate.
Oh, I mean, God, actually, that sounds like a great place in general.
Don't romanticize it!
I'm just saying, donut shop, Little Caesars, Taco Bell.
This is a tough one. Okay, maybe if I go backwards here, jump sooner, there we go.
What level are you on?
6.
4? 6?
Yeah.
Now, I'm pretty sure... Wasn't it level 5 was the one you had to beat, or was it the whole game you had to beat?
It's the whole game you have to beat.
Okay.
And this is, I think, we're gonna figure out which revision of the cartridge I loaded up here, whether it's revision A or revision B, because if it's revision B, it won't have the personalized code at the end of it.
I can tell you it's revision B, because trivia on the wiki says... Take a picture of a code after you completed level 5.
This game is still going. Oh, there's an actual platforming puzzle here, with the worst jump controls in gaming.
I gotta say, this is more of Ooze than I've ever seen.
This might be the last stage. I feel like this is last stage territory here. They're demanding things of you. There's another game I'm really interested in on here that apparently has like more levels than are actually accessible through the cartridge. We'll get to it when we get to it. It's actually the first game in the memory of the cartridge, so I think it was like the first one they started work on. There's still like details of the story that are not known, despite there being a book on the subject and so forth, and a lot of interviews and testimonials by the people who worked on it. But there's still like some details of the production that are left unknown, like which ones were developed first? What order? Was it chronological? We know that Mario came up with all the concepts for the games effectively, but we don't know what necessarily order they came up with them in. Whether they had time to improve as they went on, whether like their skills are like reflected in like the further you get in, the better the games get, or something like that. Or you know what I'm talking about, like right? There's just no way to know like when these games develop what sequence. And I think that's a mystery that is important to solve at some point.
I just want to point out something that I like, is that the character you're playing as seems to be the man from another place dressed as an elf. It's the only thing I can see when I'm looking at this. There's someone brought up the soundtrack, which is something I want to bring up. I think specifically in reference to this song, if I remember correctly. But I'm going to get that information myself.
I have to rewind. I do note that parts of this soundtrack are stolen from a composer, Ed Bogus. There was a composer on the project, but they eventually left, that being Mario. He eventually left due to getting a girlfriend, and Vince gave him like a speech, like being like, you know, like, what's more important, the game or your girlfriend? He's like, my girlfriend is. So, so maybe not Vince's best gambit.
Alright, so this is not one of the songs they stole.
No.
It's actually going to be the next game.
So there's fall damage here. This is such a tricky one, because I can't fall down here. It's a trap to fall down. What needs to be done is I need to get to that platform, then quickly jump onto that, and then how do I get that guy? Maybe if so I can't jump here unless there's like a trajectory I can, maybe on the edge of it?
There's no back scrolling, right? This is like ratchet scrolling?
Yeah, once you move forward, you cannot go back. That will be a problem in several of the games. really want to get the quote of Vince talking like a mobster to try and intimidate his programmers. Because that's something that Vince did, apparently, was that he would go to the office and he would make phone calls, like quote-unquote phone calls, where he would say, like, yeah, I want you to go to this guy's house. He's not making the games quick enough. I want you to go break his kneecaps. No, don't kill him. But he would do it in earshot of the programmer that he was talking about.
So he would do that thing where, like, if you didn't eat your, like, broccoli as a kid, your parents would get on the phone and say, like, hello, the police? Yes, we have a bad child here who isn't eating their vegetables.
Yeah, pretty much. He's not eating his donuts from the donut shop next door. Heyo!
I'm gonna call Santa Claus if you don't program this game right now.
So that's why I was saying before that there's some people who, like, you know, no one really comes to Vince's defense of the active enterprise staff of the programmers who worked on this. You know, partly because they didn't get paid, so why would you defend a guy who basically took 3 months of your life away? The fall damage here is brutal, so I need to figure out a way... There we go.
Did it?
Ugh. This would be impossible without rewinding, without, like, committing all this game to memory.
I'm not gonna get on your ass about rewinding in this case.
Okay, so I need to wait for that. Jump.
Alright, good.
I think I'm fucked.
Yeah, I think you had to.
We have to stay... The platforms down there are a trap. So it's probably something like this. Get on...
Yeah,
oh, no, the spikes
how
at the
are
top
you
kill
gonna do
me.
that with the spikes? Yeah.
You can't do, like, a half jump. When you press that button, it goes up all the way. There we go. Eventually this will end. Here we go! Here we go! You may have just won.
We got it.
Take a photograph of this screen and send it to the address listed in the rules and regulations. Your personal code, 7A3H9JOP2R4A2C75S? Who's to say? All I can say for sure is that this is on every cartridge. This is not a personal code. This was the same code given to everyone who may have managed to clear this game.
Now, Cass, we do have some stream delay, so I think we can get this in time. We can get the rules and regulations page
before these jackals in the chat try to steal from us. Yeah.
So do we want to reveal the secret about this beyond the fact that it's not a personal code?
Yeah, please do.
So in revision A of the game, which is the one that actually had this contest, there was a bug that the game would always crash after level 2.
Mm-hmm.
So it was impossible to get this code. So no one could win. And likewise, no one could access games like 9 or in 49 or whatever those two were, because you cannot beat the game.
Beautiful.
So, and it is perhaps cynical, but I'm going to say, I'm almost certain I'm right, is that they put this promotion in because they realized you cannot beat the game.
Yeah, that's very cynical of you. Probably completely accurate.
Yes.
Also, you can't back out of this. Oh, that was me switching Famicom discs by accident by key press. So don't mind that. Yeah, this is just frozen on here, so we are going to have to restart. Oh, I have a save state for the menu, so we could just do that more quickly. Would you mind picking up Silver Sword?
Sure. Give me the description.
Yeah, let me get in there. Silver Sword. Mutants in the forest, and the must be fought off. That's can't be.
All right, that's it.
Can you get in there while I find the actual manual for this again?
So, I do want to point out, Tiger Bug mentioned the Ed Bogas, music that got ripped off. And they said from some sort of application. That application was Music Studio on Atari ST. And the song in this game is one of those songs. It's called I'll Dance in the original thing.
Mutants in the forest and the must be fought off. No, mutants in the forest and the must be fought off. That is in the manual. So, okay, now, though, I guess fair play. That's how it's written, so it shall be played.
So, here's my Silver Sword.
Alright, so I found the quote about the, I should mention that there was a... So, here's the thing. I'm going to go through the staff roll of this game, of Action 52. It is Mario Gonzalez, the game designer. He wrote the stories, and he was a composer for a time. May have done some programming. Albert Hernandez was the lead programmer. He has a blog called Memoirs of an Action 52 Programmer. There's Javier Perez. He was a pixel artist. He did everything in Deluxe Paint, so he did a lot of the graphics here. But he's the only person who hasn't started a blog or tried to capitalize on Action 52 post AVGN. That's gonna be a recurring theme here. Then there's developer number 4, who is an unnamed developer. He writes a blog too. He has the blog action52prototype.com or blog.action52prototype.com, where he's written extensively about the game and his time on it. But the one thing he hasn't given, he's posted photos of himself, but he has not given away his name up to this point. I'm fairly certain I could find it, but I do not care to. I'm not gonna blow this guy's spot up. There's some very easy ways, though, I would figure, but no, people have not done that. And they shouldn't, to be clear. He was originally a DJ, he was friends with Mario, he eventually joined the project as an artist and programmer. And then there's a 5th, often forgotten programmer on this game, just called Vince the Programmer. He was a temporary programmer who, Albert, in the years since, has come forward to, reveal the presence of, and said he was basically completely useless. To quote Vince...
There was Vince Neil wearing a mustache who didn't do anything.
Damn you. Albert Hernandez, from the Memoirs of a Action 52 Programmer, his quote on Vince was, there was a second person named Vince that was involved in the project. I don't know how Vince found him, Vince Perry found him, but he's brought in to help me make the games. In the end, all he did was work on the main menu, and it looks like he didn't really do anything with that. But he's also the central point of another story that Albert Hernandez tells, the one I was alluding to earlier. I was at the office one day, and Vince Perry came by. He was annoyed at how little work Vince the Programmer was doing, so he went to the other room where the phone was and called his lawyer friend. The half of the conversation that I could hear went like this. I want you to send someone over to talk to this guy. After a pause. No, don't hurt him. Just scare him a bit. You can imagine my reaction after hearing that. I swear I started typing faster. I didn't want to get on Vince's bad side. I don't need anybody to come by and scare me. Not that I would be at home. I was just about living at the office, the cave. I realized I only heard half a conversation. This could very well be a Three's Company-style misunderstanding. Who knows what the person on the other line actually said? So that's
Who knows if there's a person on the other line?
Yeah, no, that's really what we get to here, is that Vince is so delusional at a certain point, Perry, that is, to be funding this game in the manner that he is, and making up stories about Saudi princes, and so on and so forth, that he could very well just have bullshitted that entire phone call. How's this game treating you?
Hey chat, there's a $104,000 prize, half-been scholarship, if you can tell me what these enemies are supposed to be. All of them. Just saying warm doesn't count.
Yeah, here's the thing. A lot of these graphics, all drawn Deluxe Paint, they threw everything they had against the wall, and whatever, they didn't have time to, second guess, does this graphic belong in this game? I think it was just, fill this game out with enemies of some variety. You would assume this is, a medieval story. Or a medieval fantasy kind of thing. Swords and sorcerers and...
Yeah, only from the idea that I have a sword.
I think there are, design documents. I think there's, a few scans that have come out, a few concepts for, game titles that didn't end up getting made, and, some, original titles for some of the games that eventually came to pass. That's enough Silver Sword, Charkie.
Alright.
Which will bring us to Critical Bypass.
Whoops.
You keep pressing select because you have to press select to go to main menu at the end of the game, but then you use the arrow keys or D-pad to navigate this.
Critical bypass or critical bypass.
You have got to land with your valuable cargo, but the intense gravitational pull on this planet is treacherous. You must initiate landing procedures, defeat this gravity problem, and save your cargo.
I can see the screenshot on the wiki page, and I know I'm just gonna hate looking at this. Here we go.
You can shoot in any direction you want. Whatever direction you travel in, it'll start to shoot.
Oh, you're right. Can you see my bullets?
No, because this background, because black and white tiles, mostly white, it makes it hard to see much of anything in the foreground.
The Sega Master System, not even the Sega Master System, I'm sorry, I mean the, God, what was before that? The Mark II?
Mark III.
Right? Mark III? I thought Mark III was the Master System.
Oh, no.
Am I wrong?
There's also an SG-1000.
SG-1000, right, that's what I'm thinking of. The SG-1000 couldn't do scrolling tiles, and I think that's one thing it has over the NES in this case.
is an advantage over it.
Yeah. It's like, well, you know, it can't do scrolling tiles, but it also can't do this.
It is not possible to recreate critical bypass on a Sega SG-1000, and the world is better for it.
Do you have any more history before I quit this game in the next, like, 5 seconds?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me pick up where we left off. Morning, noon, and night, the action game master was being forged deep in the recesses of the yawning, cavernous enclosure with no natural sunlight and hardly any sound from the outside world. This cavernous feeling, achieved by solid wall-to-wall soundproof insulation, is why the developers jokingly refer to the recording studio as The Cave. Work started at 11 and ended at 11, so 11 a.m., ended at 11 p.m. At the earliest, though these fellows would sometimes work until midnight, 1 a.m., and maybe even 6 in the morning. And keep in mind, this was back in 1991, in the dial-up days of the internet, before YouTube and social media sites were even a consideration, much less established entities. Desks are actually 2x4s underneath a plywood panel, acting as a work surface. So that's just I also have an image. I do want to load up an image that one of the developers... I don't remember which blog had this specifically, but this is a diagram. This is a look at what the office kind of looked at like. So this would be the layout of the cave, as it were. We're up to Jupiter Scope. Yep.
Jupiter Scope, yes. Do you want to take Jupiter Scope, or do you want to keep reading?
Let me take Jupiter Scope. Why not, right? I should play a few of these games. At first, we saw 1 or 2 fall and thought nothing of it, never thinking it could result in a meteor shower. Using the Star Zap laser, we shoot them out of the sky before they collide with things, but the meteor shower gets more intense.
Trivia section says it is one of the many space shooters on the NES version of Tactics 2.
No penalty for the meteors crashing.
Yes. Check out chat, how y'all doing? Video Game Cast, do you think anyone would argue that Action 52 can only be appreciated on a CRT?
Like if this uniform green
like this uniform green pattern actually forms a waterfall effect if you configure your screen right. I am a person who argues in favor of, like, there are sprites that work better on a CRT than not, because it is a true fact that they're sprites.
They were designed for them in mind.
Yeah. Yes. I would not say that a CRT would really help this much.
And I am someone who hates the look of a CRT, who hates, like, the blending and whatnot, who prefers, like, to see every single pixel in an emulator. So... You know, but I don't discount that CRTs were the intended medium. This is just never gonna end.
I feel like I knew someone who argued that seeing a sprite,
okay, there we go.
Like,
that was the end of Jupiter Scope.
Someone who argued that, like, seeing the raw pixels of a sprite was seeing it the way that the developers intended, because you got to see the actual art. It's like, no, that's not how they made it. That's not how they made sprites back then. What
yeah, they had CRTs that they were broadcasting them on, too. Like, they knew, like, they would zoom in to see, like, the pixels. They would understand the concept of, like, dithering. But they absolutely saw, like, you know, the way it was meant to be seen before they put it into the game. They knew what it was going to look like in the context of the game with the CRT and the blended graphics and whatnot. I'm going to give you Alfredo.
Sure. Now, this was a revision A. We wouldn't be able to play it.
Yep, this is Alfred and the Fetuc. Or as it reads in the manual, Alfredo and the Fetucinis.
Which makes me think that Oh, wait, I'm in the wrong window. I'm sorry. It makes me think that the Angry Video Game Nerd video, he must have been playing on a Revision A card.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't play this one.
No, that's precisely right. The plot, the pasta has gotten out of control, and you've got to race to the clock and get the spaghetti, linguine, and other pasta back into the pot where it belongs. So have at it.
All right.
Mamma mia. Melee attack in this game.
I can only attack to the right. I can only attack to the right.
Yeah, that's an issue with, like, facing. Some characters can't even, like, when they walk backwards, they don't even face the direction they're supposed to face in.
No, I can't do the hover thing that you were doing in Ooze.
No, that's because there's no solid platforms here. There's nothing to jump on. I was telling you that in... Oh, well, he broke his neck.
Yeah. Mr. Taco says, I can't imagine there's that many Revision B cards out there. How true would that be? Because you did say that the Revision A cards, like, only half of them were produced. Right?
Yeah. By the way, sorry, the heater just kicked in, but I think I've solved most of the audio leveling issues. This is just a little bit of stream. Talking shop for a second. I tried to mess with my noise filter to cut it off, so if I go quiet... Very good. Okay, I'm looking at my levels. It's all good. All right, so about the cartridges. This is a quote from later. This is after the release of the game. For Vince Perry, the mood was anything but celebratory. This is talking about a party, like the post-release party they had when the game came out. According to Cheetahmen Games, a fan site dedicated to all things Action 52, out of a purported 13,722 copies that Active Enterprises had ordered from the manufacturers, the number of copies they actually received would have probably been around 69,000, or 6,900 during its initial run. Between the amount of cartridges produced and the content provided, that might account for why its retail price clocked in at $199, 200 sales tax counted. So a couple things wrong with this quote, and this is one of the issues I have with the book. Cheetahmen Games, a fan site dedicated to all things Action 52. That's wrong. That is a site run by Greg Provich, or not Provich. Let me get his name right. He is a main character, Pavish. He runs CheetahmanGames.com, and he has tried to insert himself into the story of Cheetahmen for the past, decade plus. He is the real villain of this story, if you ask me, and we'll get into him more a bit later. The other thing they mentioned...
I found the strategy behind this game, by the way.
Is just take a few steps forward, and then...
Yeah, the enemies despawn entirely if they walk backwards out of the screen.
That parses.
Oh, no, the jumping challenge.
The other thing they mentioned is a speculation as to why it costs $200 between the amount of cartridges produced and the content provided. That might account for why its retail price clocked at $199. No, it's because the cartridges were expensive because they were bootleg cartridges that had a massive amount of RAM in them and ROM space. They overpaid for it. They because it was not optimized, they had to buy a bigger cartridge, custom cartridges that had the zapper in it so they could bypass the 10 NES chip. And so that shit all added up. That's why it's expensive.
I honestly, my assumption was that it was expensive because they were, trying to make a lot of money. That they were like, yeah, it's 200 games, so... No, it's 52 games, so $200 to steal, right?
Yeah, but...
I assume that's why they would have done it.
No, because they would have sold more copies if it was cheaper. That's the thing. And I want to get into this, too. This is not necessarily from the story, but, where people discover Action 52 and, what time. There are people who... my girlfriend, for example, remembers Action 52 from the 90s. She read one of the advertisements in the magazine, because they advertised in magazines at a certain point. So she had been familiar with it back then. Most people are familiar with it because of the AVGN post 2009, 2008, whenever that episode came out. But, there's also people like me who were familiar with it before AVGN from, collections of ROMs, going through the no intro, going through, download every NES game here in one handy file, in one, handy zip, and, seeing Action 52 near the top of that list and the unlicensed tag next to it, and just, being spellbound by it back in the day. No, this game would definitely have been, obscure in its time, because that marketing didn't get out to everyone, as not where most people know of it from, but, yeah, there's just different eras, different phases of people getting into this game, which I think is interesting. Yep. Japan was very into this game.
Pro Striker brings up a good point. Cass, is your computer starting to smell like burnt plastic? We've been streaming for an hour.
Yeah, I'm just gonna power through it though. I'm gonna just redeem a drink up, and I can fill my nostrils with the sweet scent of Arizona Hard brewed iced lemon tea, etc.
Why did I just sit and play again?
Don't do that. No, here, let me help you.
Fully aware of what I'm doing. Can you see?
So you're going to number 10, Operation Moon.
Operat Moon. Operation Full Moon.
Oh, let me see if I can get you the brief on this one.
Thank you, DVAC, for the drink up.
Yeah, so I drink.
I'm gonna have to go get a drink myself a bit.
All right.
Not right now. I gotta play Operation Full Moon first.
Mission: Assault Luna Base 1. Drive your dune buggy through enemy territory, destroying all terrible occupants and establishments. Better look around real good and leave no moonstone unturned.
Would you mind reading Fravia Fiasco's
comment
absolutely. While I start this?
There's a project by indie developers to remake each of the games. It was never finished, now abandoned, I believe. Yeah, I believe I saw this. I think it was called WoW Action 52 or Action 52 Lives or something like that. But some great remakes came out of it. The Streemerz remake was great. I remember you playing that, Charkie, in the Discord at some point. It did look really fun. I remember the Illuminator one being good too. I would have contributed to it if I made games back then. It would be a fun project to take a bad game from this and try to make it fun. Yeah, that is a really novel concept. I think a lot of those projects, there's one, like a similar one for Cassette 50, where they try to get people to remake every game on Cassette 50. I don't think that one turned out either. I don't think any of these projects ever turn out, really. But
the Streemerz one is really good. That was Mr. Podicon did that one. It's like a parody of. I mean, we'll see Streemerz itself, but the remake he did is like a parody of Bionic Commando.
He did a game I really liked, called like Wasted. It was like a roguelike first-person shooter with like post-apocalyptic elements to it. I really enjoyed the game by Mr. Podunky, and just a shout out to that game. It's pretty good.
He also made a cave story-like game called Underside that I thought was fun. It was like a demo for it. I don't think the full thing ever came out. But yeah, that's the takeaway for this stream is go play some of his games.
Yeah, damn right.
I think he even made a sequel to the Streemerz, like Streemerz 2. Oh, Sid would know the title off the top of his head. Streemerz 2, Deal Before God or something like that.
That sounds right. Anyway, yeah, I think if you are someone who is trying to start like, I don't know, I guess the best way to do it would be like a game jam, right? Where you get people involved to like make like every team takes on one of the games, and you just try to make it within like 3 days. I think that would be in the spirit of Action 52, to give like a very short deadline. But obviously people knowing what they're getting into when they sign up for it.
Give them 3 months.
There you go. What can you do with one game in 3 months? So, I don't know, like I think a lot of those projects are kind of lame, but I think there's and not this one in particular. I don't know. I haven't looked into this one like super close. If it brought us that Streemerz game, it was probably all right. But usually I see those things and I just assume like, oh, this is dead in the water. This isn't going to become anything. Level 3. Oh, there we go. That's the Action 52 I know and love.
This one seems to be more playable than a lot of the ones we've done. Fuck.
Well, there, that's Operation Full Moon. You want to go get a drink? I'll take on the next one. I'll take on Dam Busters.
Sure, I would like to hear. Let me give you the description of Dam Busters.
Please do. Yeah.
Before I leave, Dam Busters. Manual information. They are destroying everything, and the only way to save the wildlife is to break the dam and let the water free. That seems like a good way to destroy all the wildlife. By flooding the valley? Like, I don't know. That's
well, you're not a beaver,
so
you wouldn't know.
Okay.
You don't understand structural integrity and things.
All right, I'll be right back.
Yep, and I will play some Dam Busters. This one seems largely functional. I know for a fact that if you scroll the screen in such a way that you could potentially soft lock yourself, like, let's say I were to do this and like scroll it like a little bit over here, you could lock yourself out of being able to go down or left or right. Okay, that enemy, that one right there, I'm gonna take some umbrage with. Now I gotta wait for these bullets to pass. This too shall pass. Oh boy, I'm detecting a pattern here. I can just eke past that. There we go. Progress being made. Oh. Extra life, perhaps? Not a lot of these games have power-ups. And this is a tight corner to try and get out. I think I have to... Let's try this. Let's game this out. Let's take care of the guy on the right first. No. I wonder what that power-up even is. If it's even worth a damn. Pardon the pun. Alright, no enemy on the left, or on the right side this time. It's just these guys down here I gotta deal with. Ooh, the hitboxes are rough. I am roughing it right now in this. It's almost better just to not deal with most of these guys, honestly. Pacifism is the way. Ah, rough. Is it gonna be down here? Or okay, let's not be in that corner. But let's try to circumnavigate. Oh, no more scrolling. Level 2. So there's some like thought that went into this. Not a lot of thought, especially with the respawning enemies that can appear on like any spot on the screen. But there's like level design here. See, that's the devious trap. That's the one. Let's in fact, let's trip it. Let's deliberately ruin this. No way to go back. all you can do is die here and restart the level. Oh, video game kinking with the clutch here from Game Facts Guide. About halfway through the stage, you will come across a bear portrait that can be collected. This does nothing. There's no points, lives, or hits, so ignore it. Good to know. But of course, this is 100%. This is a thorough run of this game, and no power-up will be skipped. Yeah, the spaghetti code that puts these games together, you think that there's like, or, you know, it's clear there's ambition behind a lot of these games, that when they were first written down on paper, before they realized the task ahead of them, and how monumental it was going to end up being, and how they absolutely weren't going to be able to, like, finish this. So they're probably like, oh, yeah, I'll have these power-ups in this game, and that'll, like, make your bear, or your dam buster, your beaver, I mean to say, that's the word I'm looking for, and make them super powerful for, like, 10 seconds. Like, these ideas that are obviously getting from other games, and from established design conventions, but just ultimately, like, could not execute on. Another one here. You would assume this could have scrolled to the left at a certain point, because how are you supposed to get to, if we can rewind here? There's this whole, like, little, like, going down and left and right. So I bet this was a solid wall in some earlier version of the game, and you could just, like, scroll it to the left here and go all the way around. But, that's not what ended up happening. Is this not the first stage again? It's hard to tell because so many of these stages look the same. This feels like the first stage. Oh, that's interesting. When you scroll the screen, I'm going to shoot up. The bullets travel with the screen? How do I articulate this? I'm going to shoot up and then move right, and you can see, like, the bullet following with me. Does that make any sort of sense? Yeah, this is absolutely the first stage again. That's exactly where the power-up was. I remember that island on the left. Yeah, and then this, they both meet in the same place. Same ending. Does it say... It says level 2. Yeah, so it's just a loop. Alright, that's good to know, I suppose. There we go. I held down start and select and it actually brought me back. So it is holding down start and select to get back to.
I was waiting to see if you would notice that I was back and hitting the button to make you shoot without you doing it.
Okay, that explains it. There were some bullets. I'm like, did I hold down the turbo button or something? Okay, very good. Would you mind to take over with thrusters? Well, sure. I get into a little bit more of the history here.
How was Dam Busters?
It was fine. It was 2 levels ad infinitum.
As I would expect. All right, go on. What's thrusters? What's that about?
You have right and left thrusters. Hit full speed and use laser cannons to avoid the alien invasions in the galaxy. Got all that?
All right. Got it. Left and right thrusters.
Another space game.
Yep.
So I do want to get into the story of developer number 4 here, who is the most enigmatic of the characters associated with Action 52. I'm scrolling through my work here. Well into the project, an unnamed 4th developer visited the studio to catch up with an old friend from high school, that being Mario. To quote developer 4, so one day I take my Yamaha DX21 synth to school. On the way out of class, the boyfriend of a classmate asked about the keyboard, and we got to talking. Turns out he's into music as well. That wound up being Mario Gonzalez. What began as a mutual appreciation for the creative arts morphed into working on a song together at the Southwest Miami studio. They recorded the lyrics, added sampling, stuff about the song. So eventually they... developer number 4 starts visiting the office. He becomes friends with all 3 of the guys in there in the cave. He'd bring groceries and snacks to them while staying around to sort of watch them develop the game. And in the process of watching them, he eventually gets recruited into working on the game himself. To quote him, I came up with all the characters and story elements for a couple of the games, including Crybaby and Time Warp Tickers, and he did a lot of the backgrounds and spray animations using deluxe paints. And so by the time they have this 4-person team, Vince the programmer is gone at this point. Do you have a thought on this game?
Well, that I totally did not run into that thing that just killed me.
Oh, of course. By that point, the team was settling into a groove with everyone having clearly defined roles. To quote Mario, "I came up with all the characters and story elements as well as composing all the music," said Mario. Albert was our programmer. He had programmed several strategy games for himself as a hobby. Javier and I both contributed to pixel art at the beginning of the project, and we were later helped by the fourth member with the graphics and level design as well. So that's the roles of everyone involved in this.
Saying, like, someone worked on the story elements, like, just makes me think that there's, like, some sort of, like, lore to be mined.
Oh yeah, so the original plan was that there would be before we had Cheetahmen as the 50-second game, we'll get into the origin of the Cheetahmen, that's the next bit I have here in the chronology. The final level was going to be called Boss, the final game in Action 52, and it was going to be something that linked together all the existing games and culminated with the boss rush. And I think that was originally supposed to have, like, the narrative hooks in it.
I was thinking, like, every game had its own story behind it. That was his job.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's manual snippets. That's what it ultimately amounts to, is the...
Yeah, but more than that. Like, they actually had, like, a lore Bible written out or something.
Sure, something more elaborate, I get you.
Somehow
I doubt
video
it.
could, like, sink his teeth into.
Tiger Bug mentioning it was also called the Action Game Master before Cheetahmen, which was present in the other games. Yeah, so I'm talking about when the main game, when the whole cartridge was called Action Game Master, and the final game on it was also to be called Action Game Master. But that was not the case forever.
Okay. What? Oh, level 4. Never mind. So dying and going to the next level is like the same thing.
Yeah, it's just as abrupt every time, too. So this one I'm going to read from the book again, from the Cheetah print book. Inspired by the Turtles, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles' runaway success, and the mascot-driven zeitgeist of early 90s gaming, Vince Perry came up with a new crime-fighting gang of anthropomorphic animals, and out of his brainstorm emerged the Cheetahmen. So basically, he'd seen the success of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, and decided he wanted in on that. So Ninja Turtles named after the masters of the Italian Renaissance, the Cheetahmen named after Hercules, Ares, and Apollo. That's Greco-Roman mythology, obviously. There's a whole backstory. I'm not going to get into the backstory here. We can get into that when we get to Cheetahmen. And, there's supposed to be a comic book that went along with it, an animated TV series, which the commercial, like, was sort of like almost like a soft pilot for, to show you, like, what they were capable of. Yeah, so you're looped. So hold down start and select, and go back to the menu.
Before I end, I realized something about how this game works. Right? Alright, I'm just going to sit here, like, dodge. Look at all these enemies.
And if you shoot, the enemies don't appear.
If I just keep shooting, yeah, the sprite limit kicks in and there's no enemies. Or if they do show up, they don't shoot. Alright.
There you go. Thrusters sorted. There's a whole thing where the one of the voice actors for one of the Cheetahmen ends up being, like, an animator who was, like, roped in to work on the animated series and also the comic book. The comic book, which also had to be rushed out in under 3 months. So it's this whole thing. Cheetahmen are their own thing, too. Maybe we'll do a Cheetahmen stream one of these days with Cheetahmen 2 and other stuff. We can go all in on Action 52 and just bank on this for months to come. Haunted Hill, you probably want the description, too. Right. The full title of this is Haunted Halls of Wentworth. Ghosts and ghoulies are running loose in the cemetery. Get them all back to where they belong and end the chaos in the halls of Wentworth.
Space shooter.
Nope, this is actually one of the ambitious ones, believe it or not.
Oh no. Oh no.
He plays this very busty lady, and you're putting these ghosts away.
Hey, wait! I can hold B.
Yeah, this game has more functional controls. Some of them, this would have to have been developed later, when they realized that it was more intuitive to control games in this way. They couldn't backport to all the other games before it, but let me know if you want me to rewind you any, by the way, if you want to. If you think something is... Yeah, that's fair. So I want to get to...
I'm just going to keep failing playing the same first level over and over again.
Very good. Let's see here. I want to share this story. We're doing, like, the development of the game right now. We're in the middle of, like, talking about the development of Action 52. So here's a story from developer number 4, taken off of the Action 52 prototype website that he runs. Sometimes we'd call into the Active Enterprises hotline. Yes, we had a hotline. A pre-recorded message, usually narrated by Vince, that told the investors the status of the project, updates, important dates, etc. One day in the middle of the project, the hotline was updated with, "Our computers have been infected with a virus. It's like a cancer that spreads." I remember like it was yesterday. Someone had brought in a floppy, not sure who, with a virus infected all the PCs. We got that worked out after a few days, though. So there was
Was that on the hotline?
The line about the computers have been infected with a virus is like a cancer that spreads, was the quotation.
Okay.
So that's something that's not addressed too often, is that the fact that Action 52's development was beset and then brought to hiatus by a computer virus that someone accidentally installed, which is pretty funny. Mario.
I found this demo for like a product in development called Bonsai Buddy. I thought it would be cool to install it, help us program this game.
Yeah, we'll be some of the first. He can assist with us, the original AI.
Yeah.
So I mentioned Mario leaving the project. You know, he's sort of the heart and soul of the project at the beginning. So around the 3-month mark, he had been composing the soundtrack, mentoring the team, etc., etc. As the book details, this is back to Cheetah Print, slowly Mario's appearances in the cave became sporadic, something that drew concern from his teammates and especially Vince Perry. He was intent on having a game ready for launch. Perry would meet with Mario and ask him what's going on with him and why he wasn't down at the studio. Turned out, as he was dealing with software-related bugs, Mario also dealt with the love bug. I called a friend's house on New Year's Eve to wish him a Happy New Year, Mario said. Other friends were there, so they started to pass the phone around. The phone was accidentally handed to a girl at the party. We talked for a bit. The next day I asked Albert, who was that girl I spoke to? He said her name was Rosemary. I responded, I'm gonna marry that girl. The two stayed in touch after that, regularly talking over the phone until the day they'd meet in person.
Can you hit me with the rewind, by the way?
Yes, I can do that for you.
I got so far and I'm still on level 1.
Alright, do it better.
Oh god, okay. By the way, I can tell, I know why this game was not licensed, given the Nintendo seal of quality. I can tell.
Oh yeah, that's...
Enemy crosses.
Yeah, that's it. That's what got them denied. Otherwise, this game was above board. So, basically what happens is Mario falls in love with this girl.
Rewind, if you don't mind.
And actually, the game Gum Rosie in this is very much inspired by this Rosemary girl. It's kind of like one of his last contributions to the project is doing a game that sort of acknowledges the relationship he was getting into. Mario assured Perry they were still on schedule, but Perry was not satisfied. What?
Engine Heart.
There you go. Perry was not satisfied with having his employees' focus split and he needed to make a choice, the game or the girl. While grateful for the opportunity he was given to work on Action 52, Mario was earnest in continuing and evolving his relationship with Rosie, so he departed from the project. For Perry, the loss of his lead programmer had to have been a demoralizing blow to a development team so small that he could have counted them all on one hand and still have fingers left over. Despite how daunting the circumstances were, Javier, Albert, and developer 4 forged ahead. Javier says, I really believe in the project so much, my parents even became investors. So, Vince Perry convincing his employees to rope everyone else into. I love the spider, by the way. Do you think there's a way to kill it? Do you think you're going to be able to kill it at a certain point, or do you just walk into it?
I thought for... Can you hit me with the rewind for...
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I thought for a second, like, maybe I'm supposed to walk under it after it goes up, but no, that seems to be the case. Do you know something I don't about the end of this?
Yes,
No,
yeah.
never mind.
I led you down a primrose path there for a second. This book gets into how post-Mario leaving, because they also lost their composer in Mario, they turned to Ed Bogus, and that's the story of how they stole the music. A veteran composer since the late 60s, Ed not only wrote music for software released on the Commodore 64 and Atari 2600, but also for several film and television products, etc., etc. His participation in Action 52 soundtrack, however, was entirely indirect, as a handful of tracks culled from Activision's The Music Studio.
What? Sorry, what?
Fall damage. You need
Excuse
to
me?
just drop off that platform.
This is a spelunker?
Yeah.
Is that what we're dealing with?
Bet you weren't expecting that, huh? And the
No.
spiders I don't think you can kill.
But I figured that. Well, now I don't like this game if it's like Spelunker.
That's a shame. BackGameHallOfFame.com/Spelunker. Check out our Spelunker article sometime. Handful of tracks culled from Activision's The Music Studio, an Atari ST produced project that Ed had worked on, reused to bolster A52's otherwise incomplete lineup. So that's where the stolen music comes from. Look at that little ghost. Look at that little jelly bean looking guy.
Okay, wait. Alright, got it.
Very good.
What?
Oh, the chain is deadly, didn't you know? Obviously, that chain is it's gonna strangle you if you jump into it.
Can't move the screen forward unless I get past the chain. That ghost is gonna come at me the second.
You need to do like
that.
Yeah, like that. Okay, so you need to land on that platform.
Boy.
Okay, let's give you this. Let me do this. I can get past this.
Yeah, you do this.
I believe I can get past this. All right.
Tigerbug says Ed Bogus, by the way, worked on Garfield and Friends and Soupy specials.
There we go. Oh, that chain up there, though. All right, so jump, fall, fall, end up inside the platform, and get stuck.
It was Rosemary, right? Was the
girl's name that inspired? Yeah.
I hope Mario and Rosemary.
Yeah, I looked into that. I couldn't find anything particular. Okay. I'm sure I could if I put a little more work into it.
That's not a thing I want to look into. I just hope they had a good life past this.
Well, Mario is still in the mix. Mario still talks about this game in the development process. He's one of the people who runs a blog still that updates intermittently, and you can always like reach out to him for comments and stuff.
A lot of people sure run a blog about this game.
Yeah, there's 4 of them, give or take. Ooh, that's
gonna make a
tough one.
YouTube channel. That's where it's at now.
Yeah, that's get with the times, guys. Fall damage. Yep.
That's where that guy who worked on Sonic 3D Blast did.
Oh yeah, the Game Hunt channel.
Yeah.
Oh, this is rough. Believe it or not, this is maybe not the most quality software.
You gotta bait that guy into rising by jumping. Alright, you got it.
Do I now?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at the Twitch stream, not at the actual parsec. Video Game King says, who punched out Blinky's teeth? Yeah, that's what I was trying to go for. That's what I was thinking in my head, and I couldn't place it, but it does look like the Pac-Man ghost got into like a bar fight.
You know, we don't need to finish all these games, I'm gonna say. Oh, look at these skulls! And a different colored little Pac-Man guy.
So, we would have missed the skull if we hadn't kept playing.
You have to so quickly turn around to, like, fire at the guys coming up behind you. The fact you can't kill these spiders is so brutal. Fuck. That's gonna kill me, isn't it? Yeah, I have to fall down. I feel like that's gonna be a problem in some of the later games as well, the fall damage. So we get better jump control, but the trade-off is Spelunker-type fall-to-your-death situations. Also, I'm realizing that if we continue at this current pace, we're gonna be here all night.
I figure some games are gonna take, like, 20 seconds, and we're like, yep, that's that game.
Well, I would have thought that about, like, half the games we've played so far, but we just keep playing them. There's something oddly compelling about these, you know?
Yeah, they're compelling.
Oh, we just got someone gifted a sub in the chat. Thank you for gifting a sub there. It is much appreciated. Link's Winters receiving it at this current juncture. Alright. No, I can't jump there. I have to jump to bait them. Yeah, you're right about that. You're absolutely right about you have to jump to bait these guys. There is strategy here. There's consideration to pay to, like, different types of enemies appearing here.
Yeah, if any type of enemy doesn't come at you head on, you kind of have to either jump to meet them or jump to bait them.
Would you mind reading some of the messages in chat right now, by the way, while
Sure.
Oh, that skeleton is cruel.
Yep. Master says the streamer they watched who finished all the games. Some games took literally 20 hours to beat. Some took just 5 minutes. Yeah, we're not beating all of these, but now we gotta see level 3. You just gotta shoot this guy a billion times.
Is it the head or is it the purple?
I think it's the head.
There's
the
new
Ooze
music
crossover we've been waiting for.
It's the Ooze Haunted Halls crossover that people have been demanding.
Video Game King says, I'm noticing the enemy AI tends to be really simple. That they either move in place or directly home in the player's position, prioritizing one axis. I'm sorry. And yeah, that's It's like they didn't have a lot of time to figure out how to make these games. I just realized how far we are in. Yeah, let's start maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say that game
less
has
time
me.
to
Haunted Hill has me really heated. It's time that we chill out. Old Man Winter is at the top and is your goal, but it keeps snowing and he's blowing. You must reach the top before you get snowed under.
Oh, ice climbers.
Finally.
It's about as good jumping controls as Ice Climbers does too. Maybe slightly better. Fuck.
So let me try to tie up some of the story behind the game as well. As long as we're moving things along a little bit, we can focus more on the games, and then I'll maybe make them go by a bit quicker in time. With the last components necessary for completion found, harvested, and stitched onto his creation, an unworldly Prometheus with a strength of 52 games, Vince Perry ascended to the stormy heavens, watched as a volley of thunderbolts resonated deep into the cartridge, and returned from the fray to the earth below. Now is the moment of truth. One flip of the power button on a Nintendo Entertainment System later, and all the thunder and lightning housed in the capacitors came from deep within, frying the lockout mechanic. The fuzzy white television screen was taken over by the visage of a Cheetahmen raising his fist high in the air as if he was triumphant for achieving the impossible dream. Action 52 is alive. A little bit of flowery writing, but, it's basically to say that, post Mario leaving, the game was eventually finished. As developer 4 puts it, and just like that, one day, someone said, "We're done." The lights, camera, action intro was added with a hint of Rob Bass's "It Takes Two" when we left. The weekend was either Labor Day or Memorial Day weekend. I had rented a room out of Miami Beach with my cousin and invited AH, MG, and Jay to the festivities. MG, Mario, was a no-show, but AH, Jay, and I, seen some very lovely ladies, partied like it was 1999, and had a pyramid of empty beer cans stacked on the windowsill so high we could see it all the way from the beach.
Music's slowing down. Too many sprites.
And if you want an actual release date for Action 52, that would be September 2nd, 1991. Returning to the book, after months of hard crunch time, trying to compile and craft 52 original games onto a single cartridge, Active Enterprise's debut effort was finally out on store shelves. By then, the cave looked like the aftermath of a college fraternity caught in a whirlwind. For what was left of the development team, the day the project ended was the beginning of a holiday weekend. Developer 4 rented a hotel. So, yeah, recapping the same story I just read effectively. Sharks! Now, this one, if I remember, is a lot like Jaws on NES. Maybe better, who knows? You are a frogman and must collect rare marine creatures and recover lost treasures at the bottom of the sea. You have your stun gun and can always retreat into your electromagnetic base that repels sharks and the rest of the enemies. Your diving suit can only survive a few shark bites and is useless against a deadly jellyfish.
Doing. Can you see?
I'll drink up
I'm
time.
redeeming it for myself.
Mm-hmm. I'll join you, though. So you're going to play a frogman.
All right. Oh, right. I'm in the wrong window. There we go.
Frogman refers to a scuba diver, by the way. It's not an actual frogman.
Yes, I was disappointed.
Yeah.
I assume this is gonna kill me. Oh, no. I assume if I touch the bottom of the screen, I'll die. No! Wow.
So, after the game launches on NES, Vince immediately starts production on the Genesis version as well, because 1991, he saw where it was all headed, basically. For that, he contracts Farsight Technologies, which is like an actual established studio, and they take.
By the way, Farsight Technologies, you may know them from the Pinball Arcade, before they lost the license to like every single pinball thing.
Yep, and also Color a Dinosaur. So full range,
illustrious career.
Yeah. So they basically take the notes that Mario had written for the NES version, basically look at that version of the game, and they're commissioned to like reproduce it effectively. They have some original games, some new games on there, remixes some of the old ones. They have we'll get to the Genesis version. I don't want to go too much into it. There are insights into the development of that, though, which I'm glad the book has. Which I'm glad. And the name of that book, again, by the way, for anyone who's interested, is Licensed to Cheetah Print Money, an Action 52 story, written by Andrew Riepe, or R-I-E-P-E. I don't know how that's meant to be pronounced. Sorry, but yeah. So he covers every game in it. He covers the development from pre-existing sources. And
you said that book was like $8, right?
Yeah, $7.99.
I think it maybe should be like maybe $1 cheaper because of that title, but
oh, and it has maybe one of the worst covers I've ever seen for a book. Let me get the cover for the book. I feel like I should show this.
Oh, albino sharks. Those are rare. I gotta kill them.
Again, I'm recommending the book if you're interested in Action 52. We're covering like a lot of the stuff in it, obviously, but there's nothing that is equivalent to just reading the full book and getting the full story. But this is the cover. And you would look at this. You would look at this yellow text on a leopard print, and not being able to read the name of the author of the book and think, oh, this is probably like cheap. It's under 70 pages or so, and yeah, it's a pretty good primer. It refreshed me on a lot of details before the stream. That's all you can ask for, really.
Maybe a bit. Graphic design is my passion, but it sounds like a decent book.
Yeah.
For what it's worth.
As someone who writes a lot of words about video games on occasion. I would say the book is... It also has, like, some comedy, and it has, like, some, like, of his original writing and some of his flowery prose and whatnot. I think he played enough Sharks.
Yeah, maybe. There we go. Main menu.
Which brings us to Megalonia.
Megalovania.
She comes out of nowhere with her evil enemies. You must defend against the wave after wave of enemies, and they will attack until only the Empress machine, Megalonia... Ooh, I had to hiccup there for a second. The Empress machine, Megalonia, remains.
I see. This is what I want to know more of the story that came up, that the guy came up for that.
Yeah,
like,
no kidding.
Like someone, he had definitely more like notebook pages of stuff written up for this one.
Yeah, this is G-Force again, by the way.
Oh,
literally just G-Force.
I feel like it controls worse somehow. I feel really sluggish.
You've been spoiled by games like Haunted Halls, right? Clearly.
Yeah.
So we're getting into...
I was going to crash into these.
No, they are... You can go through those mercifully. So I do want to go into... we're post-development now, so we can fly through some of this stuff a bit more. A bit more from the book. Oh, you have a boss fight. Never mind. Let's see this. Is he just going to fly off the screen? No, he... I'm going to rewind you. No. You get a second take on that. You couldn't have predicted that. Oh, there you go. That's it. That's it.
All right. I just had to shoot faster. That's it.
All right. So this is post-Genesis release as well. So this is 1993. With both iterations of Action 52 unable to achieve the commercial success their parent company pined for, Active Enterprises was primed to be relegated to obscurity and oblivion. Vince Perry remained undaunted, however. It would make Active Enterprises' presence felt at the Consumer Electronics Show in late 1994.
Oh, I remember this. Go on.
Yeah, so this is the whole section where they have a booth, they have some samples of the game, they had a press kit folder with, the big thing they're really promoting beyond the games that they did advertise, they did show Action 52 on the NES and Sega, but what they really wanted to market...
Yeah, I think I'm screwed.
Yeah, you might be.
Can I go down? Oh, I can go down. Never mind.
Okay, you're good. They were really trying to promote their new console, the Action Game Master console, that was going to be in production. It was a portable system compatible with cartridges and discs. So it would have an NES, an SNES, and a Sega Genesis crammed into it. And I have a picture of this console that never came to be. And here it is. So yeah, an unwieldy looking thing. An unholy looking thing.
Give me a rewind, please.
I'm sorry, you died behind the scenes there.
Yeah.
I believe in you, Charkie. So, another thing they wanted to do, and this is a bit that you may not know, is that they had plans, Active Enterprises had plans for promotional purposes for animatronic cheetah costume to be constructed by Screaming Mad George, a Japanese special effects and artist predominantly known for his work in action horror films, including Big Trouble in Little China, Predator. He also had a video game, a pinball video game.
I did not know that Screaming Mad George was attached to this.
Yeah, so that'll come up when we...
As a big fan of that specific video game, that popped me just now.
No, I thought you would like that. I thought you'd like to hear that.
Yeah.
So anyway, that never came to pass, unfortunately. But they wanted to make that as a promotional, like sort of like a talking Mr. Lincoln. What Lincoln did for Disney World, this talking cheetah machine would have.
I gotta say, if they had made like a Cheetahmen, if Vince
Perry, yeah.
If Vince Perry had made a fucking Cheetahmen animatronic, that thing would have Freddy Fazbear. That would have been a Bite of 87 situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
It would have absolutely bit a kid's face off or something. I'm so close to being.
I know. I believe in you, Charkie. Dodge those bullets. No, dodge them better.
I need more rewind, I think.
No, you're good. So initially, this is where Active Enterprises dies. They were going to work on a sports game cartridge called Sports 5 with Farsight. That would have been a Genesis game, but didn't come to pass. 3D graphics are coming in. The Cheetahmen never took off.
Didn't they also want to make a Super Nintendo version?
No, yeah, yes, exactly. That's another good point. Yeah, they were going to make a Super NES version of Action 52, but that just didn't come to pass. So with the financial failure of both the other versions, and, you know, the fact they would have to circumvent Nintendo again for that, and the SNES being significantly harder to circumvent, people figured out eventually, but, yeah, it just was not in the cards.
Tell me if I'm wrong. No, I'm wrong. I'm definitely wrong.
Don't tell me anyway.
Wasn't Noah's Ark the only game that bypassed the SNES?
That's the popular legend. There were absolutely Japanese cartridges that did it. There was also the whole system of Super Famicom Doctors, floppy disk, basically, that instead of doing the cartridges, you could burn games to floppy disk and put a peripheral in that would load floppy disks as ROMs on the SNES. So there was a lot of that. You know, if you want another example, by the way, Hong Kong 97. That's how Hong Kong 97 was distributed. Yeah.
I knew I was wrong as I was saying it because I remembered Hong Kong 97.
So what is killing you there? Is that a bullet or is that?
It's the bullets.
Yeah, that's enough of that.
The bullets are way bigger than.
Yeah.
They otherwise are.
That's fine. With Megalonia. Oh, next one. French baker. You may try to keep the cookie patterns pounding and the bread rising, but it's not as easy as it sounds. This game has a near complete title screen using the Cheetahmen 2 font. It can be... Oh, well, that's...
What? I'm sorry, where... Okay, there I am.
Yeah, so this is supposed to be another... one of the bigger ones in the game. It's supposed to have its own title screen and stuff, is what I'm reading here.
I did not see a title screen.
Yeah, it didn't come to pass, or they didn't bother including it at the end. So there are a few of the games that have that sort of thing, have background or stuff banked on the ROM.
Okay, that's an enemy that was on there. I was like, sure they wouldn't just put an enemy on the ladder where it just stands completely still.
No, of course
That must be a power-up.
So, Action 52, that whole saga comes out. Active Enterprises. Do you want to give that another shot? You don't have to if you don't want to.
That was only 10 seconds.
So there's a story of Cheetahmen 2, which is, again, a whole other kettle of fish. But it wasn't designed by any of the people who had worked on Action 52 on NES. Basically, Albert said that all the code that the data... Let me take this again for the top. According to Albert, all the code and data the crew had from Action 52 was left with Vince when the initial project was over. To quote him, I had enough comments in my code that someone could have looked at it and figured out how they could use the code to make another Cheetahmen game, said Albert. All it would really take was to create the graphics and put the data together. And so it's not known who worked on this Cheetahmen 2 that eventually never came out. But there were prototype cartridges, 1,500 units of what turned out to be Cheetahmen 2, which were found in a warehouse in Florida in 1996, or so the legend goes. But that's, again, whole other rabbit hole we could fall down.
It may fall down on some other day.
Yes. And from here... this is... I want to pick up this point, too, actually. So before the AVGN, before the resurgence of Action 52 in popular media, contrary to popular belief, Active Enterprises didn't instantly keel over after the CS announcements that mounted vaporware. They wound up restructuring with more of an emphasis on voice-based technology. The quote from their website, which is now
NES is having trouble with these sprites on one layer.
Yeah, one line that'll definitely trip the sprite limit thing. So I said that. We began developing innovative products in 1991 when we released the world's first multi-game cartridge for the Nintendo gaming system. Today, we provide high-quality offshore software development services and web design solutions at excellent rates. We specialize in voice-controlled applications that feature the latest in both speech recognition and text-to-speech technologies. Active Enterprises helps companies around the world to leverage the power of the internet by placing highly qualified software programming specialists, project managers, and analysts at their fingertips. So that's
that reminds me, speaking of being weirdly proud of Action 52, doesn't Farsight, which still makes games to this day, actually list their work on Action 52 on their site?
Oh, absolutely. Work is work. Resume is a resume. Yeah. Pat out your portfolio.
We have talked about that before, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's it for French Baker.
Oh, what a shame. We'll never make his bread.
Atmos Quake.
Yes, this is, the description reads, the legions of space pirates are causing solar flares and sending shock waves to destroy your planet. You must fly in and arrest them all.
Space shooter.
Yeah, trivia says that on level 5, the game completely breaks as you keep blowing up for no reason at all.
Cool.
I don't think we're making it that far. I think you'll blow up for no reason prior to that, if I had to guess. So that's going to do it for like all the massive quotations. The rest I'm going to go off of memory, so I can stop looking at that doc for right now.
Okay.
Unless I need to quote something. All right, I'm back in it now. How was that? Was that interesting? I want to poll the audience. Should we do, for games in the future, more of that? Should I read more stuff, just like notes I've taken, quotes from books, give backstory in that sort of sense? Or is it better just to recount it myself? I'm probably leaning towards that one in my mind right now because I felt like it distracted me super much from the game and whatnot. But I felt like Action 52, there's elements of the story that don't get told. Certainly people who just watched the Action 52 AVGN episode never pick up on any of that stuff. Maybe you're lucky enough to watch like a video that covers some of the notes. There was one video that we watched that I had seen in the past before. I'm trying to remember the title of it.
Concept to Console?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's from the channel Me, You, and Me, M-I-I. If you look up on YouTube, Action 52, History of the Worst Game Ever Made from Concept to Console, it is a fairly comprehensive video. It's interesting. I think it's over-edited, but it's probably one of the best videos on the Action 52 that exists, just in terms of covering the full story. And so I tried to cover some elements that weren't covered in that necessarily by quoting the book. Which the book came out this year, by the way.
Yeah, at some point, I might read that book.
Yeah, I can.
I have to be careful how I spend money, but at some point.
Yeah, I'll expense it on the show. Who cares? I'll put show budget towards it to get you that copy.
I mean, you know, it's no Onitime Borrow Origins. You know?
Well, what is?
Not exactly the $120, but.
So I don't know. I think it is like it's great that this game is being documented. I still think there's some details that I would love to know. Are you quitting out of this one?
Not letting me.
Did the game just freeze?
Did it? I think it froze. Nope.
Okay. Well, we made it past the first page, nearly 2 hours in.
The NES right now is like starting to literally melt, like visibly melt.
So, Meong.
You want to take Meong?
Yeah, I might as well at this point.
Yeah.
A board game of strategy and skill. Try to get pieces from starting line to goal. Watch out for hidden crepes. Crepes? C-R-A-P-E-S. Do they mean crepes?
Oh. Probably. I thought you're saying C-R-E-P-E.
No, C-R-A-P-E-S. Harder than it sounds is the last line.
Which I would have thought the hidden crepes would have been in French Baker. Oh, this game.
Yeah, it's this one. It's the Minesweeper as a...
strategy and skill. Magic Meow says, I can't believe you're going to get 2 streams out of Action 52.
No, we're going to go as long as it takes tonight, I'm sad to say.
I think we'll go quicker now that we're not doing histories, and also now that I'm not playing because I'm weirdly, like... when it comes to these games, I'm like, you know what, I can keep playing.
Yeah, no, that's where I'm at too. So if we're not going to do that much better. Look, the stage is getting a little more complex. There's some thought put into this, clearly. Duh. I don't think there's any way to tell like what tiles are mined outside of like this rote memorization. Yeah.
Yeah.
But some of the tiles fall from underneath you, and that's a whole other hazard to have to deal with. All right, that's Meong. I'm holding start and select, and nothing is happening. There we go.
I was having that issue too.
Space Streams. Let me pull up the manual snippet for this one. This one has a lot of text on it. Not the manual description, it's the wiki page. There is a black hole, and on the other side are all your space streams. Huh, very sweet. You must get past all the obstacles to enter the hole and realize your dreams. Great.
So if you can't beat this game, then you can't realize your dreams. So good luck.
We are pacifiers shooting at teddy bears. I love that little star graphic.
I'm sorry. ending controversy? I'm looking at the wiki here.
Yeah, tell me about it. Oh, Pro Striker says safety pins. Yeah, like for a diaper.
Yeah.
You know?
Space Dreams has no ending. When level 12 is completed, the player will simply be brought back to the beginning of level 1.
There's 12 levels of this?
Yes. This is in contradiction to the game's story, which states that the goal is to reach a black hole, which will help the player realize their dreams. The game contains no black hole, nor does it contain any information on what dreams the player attains. Two groups eventually formed that debated as to whether the game lacked an ending on purpose, or if this was one of many glitches and unfinished parts of Action 52.
Circles or bombs. Okay, I was not picking up on that. I thought they were another background element. Sorry, continue.
This is like wiki. This is like
wiki drama being documented on.
This is prime wiki right here. Let's see. The first group, formed in 2001 by an online blogger who simply went by the name of Omnis, argued that there was an ending and claimed to have uncovered hidden data for one through a detailed search of the game's source code, as was done when finding a hidden tile screen for the other X52 game, which was French Baker. Which is the next line that I could have gone ahead and looked ahead and read. A second group formed later, headed by the duo known only as Messenger of the Sky and Messenger of the Earth, who broke off from Omni's group. They claimed or determined that there was no ending to the game, and that Omnis was being deceptive. Both groups claimed they're correct, though no evidence of an ending is currently known to exist. Omnis claimed that he lost the evidence when his home was ransacked by government officials early in 2004.
He had too many secrets. He figured out the Action 52 secret. The government couldn't let him off the hook that easily.
He got too close to the truth.
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely. That's like the Elf Bowling developers having a Wikipedia edit war on the Elf Bowling article over the course of years. I don't want to play any more of this. You know, it seems like another one of those space shooters. Streemerz.
Next is Streemerz.
You want Streemerz?
You know what? I'll play Streemerz.
Yeah, hell yeah. Read the description, though, if you don't mind.
Oh, sure. Let me get back to it. Try climbing to the top of this one by throwing streamers and climbing them. On your way up, you better watch out for the various pie-throwing clowns, burning candles, and bouncing balls, because if they get you, you'll die a little each time. You'll die a little inside each time one of these clowns gets close to you.
See, I like this one. They use the line, you go up using that. You don't have a jump button, a traditional jump button in this, I don't think, so... It makes sense that this one... Money is bad?
I'm very unhappy that I got money.
Relatively ambitious. You can see why this one became a good standalone game. In terms of that remake that came out, that Podunkian remake. Is it not letting you... Okay, yes, so
money is bad. Money is bad. Don't know why money is bad. So don't get the money.
Let me double check that for you. Let me double check the Streemerz entry. Avoid any other sprites on the platforms, yeah. Once you reach the top platform, the game doesn't end, it crashes. You must restart the game to get back to the menu, according to this.
Cool.
If you make it that far.
Let's crash this game.
You want to rewind?
I got this.
Okay, cool. So I do want to get into how the game resurges, the resurgence of Action 52. And I mentioned earlier that I knew about Action 52 well before the nerd covered it. That is obviously where most people first got word of it. And that's actually when most of the developers started coming out of hiding to talk about their time on Action 52. So that's where Albert Hernandez, Mario Gonzalez start to tell their stories. Developer number 4 opens up his blog at some point. And that's also where Greg Pabich comes back into the story. Now, Greg Pabich was very tangentially part of the Action 52 story. Do you think you can climb the walls to get up?
Kinda.
A little bit.
I don't know. I don't think I can, do a mid-air grab, though.
Oh, Frappa Fiasco asks, do you think this is better or worse than the remake?
I don't know, the remake's kind of hard. So is this one. There was no way to get past that without taking damage.
So I do want to read again from the book, actually. I do have one more quotation here. It talks about how Greg basically had failed out of several business ventures, including like VHS tape and VCR rentals. So out of a job, yeah, again, Greg turned to newspaper ads placed by people who were interested in used VHS tapes. This gave him an epiphany, and with that, he called his former employer, expressing interest in buying any excess inventory off of them. He opens a company called Movies and Games for Sale.
I get what's happening. I get what's happening with, like, climbing the wall. I can only do it if there's a wall on the other side.
Yeah, it wraps around, sort of, right?
Yeah. Now I understand now.
M&G operated under a used-is-better business model, pointing out video game rental superstores would only have to pay $150,000 for their type of inventory, rather than spend $600,000 on 10,000 brand-new titles. Many different retailers echoed that sentiment, and before long, the shelves of Babbage's, Toys R Us, and ironically enough, many blockbuster franchisees in the continental U.S., etc., would all be stocked. Yeah. Would all be stocked with titles courtesy of M&G. During the rise of his rental distribution business in the early 90s, Greg responded to a prior inquiry about possibly carrying video game shipments by boarding a plane and making the flight from Dallas to Miami. Upon arriving in Magic City, who happened to be there to greet him? Vince Perry. The shipments he was negotiating? Action 52. First impressions of Active Enterprises seemed favorable enough. Big office building with plenty of employees, including a marketing division working hard on everything from the promotional posters to mock-ups. However, Greg's optimism was short-lived when the actual cartridges had little representation during the tour, save for a handful of prototypes.
I've already lost.
Yeah, it's just as well. This raised his concern as to where they were being manufactured and how that would affect terms of price. To quote Greg, in a business like I was that was full of con artists, I was wary because I was told the carts were going to be assembled offshore, the Bahamas, according to Perry, and that they must be paid for in full, in advance, Greg exclaimed.
What accent are you giving him right now?
A little bit of a Brooklynese accent. They would have further negotiations over dinner, but by that point, the home video distribution specialist knew he'd be hopping a plane back to Dallas without making a deal. I left Florida knowing the deal was too shaky for me to risk $1 million upfront payment being wired to the Bahamas. Despite the deal falling through, Greg wouldn't necessarily leave empty-handed. After some initial hesitance from Perry, Pabbage, who may not have been Texas-born but was Texas-bred, so really the Brooklynese accent is perfect for him, returned home without a new client, but a prototype cartridge of Action 52 instead. And we'll pick up on that after I read Spread Fire.
By the way, I got in contact with Sid. The sequel to the Streemerz remake is called Godspeed Unto Oblivion. Godspeed Towards Oblivion. Godspeed Towards Oblivion.
Very good. Spread Fire. You may have some great weapons. In fact, the best. You will need them to fight off the tremendous enemies that seem to multiply. Due to a hitbox glitch, some enemies cannot be destroyed. Oh, this looks like one of the worst ones yet. I'm guessing it's a fixed shooter where you can't move up.
You're correct.
And I'm guessing that if you keep shooting, enemies won't appear.
That is correct. Would you like to move on with what you were saying? Not as good a time as any.
Well, I'm going to say don't do this. Don't drag this out.
Okay.
Kill the enemies and see if that does anything. It's funny, but we want to get through these with some degree of expediency. Okay, so here's the deal. This Greg character,
is a long play.
He had met Vince Perry. He had gotten hands on that prototype cartridge. He holds on to it as, like, keepsake reminder, just like a little novelty in his house. And eventually the AVGN comes out with his video, and the game starts blowing up, and interest in the game starts to go up. And Greg gets an idea in his head. Being the scam businessman that he is, he realizes that the prototype cartridge he's holding on to is going to appreciate in value, that people are going to be super interested in what he's holding on to. And so from this, he starts doing things to drive up the value of the cartridge. He announces, like, a Kickstarter where he's going to fund, like, multiple reproduction cartridges of Action 52. He opens the CheetamanGames.com website. He says, we're going to have the Cheetahmen comic, we're going to make the animated series come true. He starts making all these promises, basically to the effect of making the stock of his cartridge that he's holding on to go up.
Basically channeling Vince.
Yeah, basically.
With his...
And so, at a certain point, the AVGN gets roped into participating in the Kickstarter scam, where he promotes the Kickstarter on his channel, which puts a lot of eyeballs on it, convinces a lot of people to put money into it. And as soon as he does that, people start messaging James to be like, this was not a great idea. This guy is kind of like a scam artist. He'd been around on forums forever, Greg. He'd been a forum poster for a while and been trying to drive up stock on there. In fact, I have a Vince Perry quote here. Or not Vince Perry quote, I have a Greg Pavich quote from a forum that he had posted on. Do I have that bookmarked? Do I actually have the forum bookmarked that he responded on? Give me a second.
Dude, I can stall. I have plenty of bullets to keep the enemies from spawning.
I do not have it bookmarked, unfortunately. But I do have a quote here that I copied and pasted because I thought it was really funny. And for those rabid posters on the forum who think I'm stealing their allowance money, not one of them knows enough about business to realize that this was a $200,000 project before the first cart rolled off the production line. Then there is the continuing advertising campaign, costs for attending game shows, store sales commissions, PayPal charges, and Google support. So it is unlikely that I'm going to pay for my mansion from those unseemly profits. This is a dude who's always combative with everyone who accused him of mishandling the funds and the Kickstarter and so forth. And here's a quote from the Angry Video Game Nerd that he had to write. Here's a quote that James had to write on the Cinemassacre website. In addition, I'd like to explain. On Cinemassacre, we usually run advertisements for things like Burger King or something like that. When I was asked to promote a game that I reviewed as the AVGN, it sounded like a cool idea. It was something I thought my audience would like. Admittedly, I didn't know much else about the project other than someone was re-releasing Cheetahmen 2. Just someone releasing a game. How could that go wrong? I got the script and filmed my part for the promo while I had my head buried deep in the Schwarzenegger Games episode, who cares? Over the past week, there's been a fuss over the Cheetahmen thing, so I looked at the Kickstarter page for the very first time. I admit, I didn't understand the cost at first. I should have researched it beforehand, but when it was explained to me, it made more sense. Honestly, I paid $60 for but he basically defends his decision, then he has to apologize for it later again because of this Kickstarter for Cheetahmen 2. And this is an important one. This is the one that was inspired by Mario Gonzalez's girlfriend, Bubblegum Rosie here. I'm going to give you the synopsis for it. Rosie is looking for her gum, but so are a lot of other gum-starved critters. Help her get her gum back, but be careful, the critters don't get you first.
I'm glad I paused to take the drink before I heard you say gum-starved critters, because I would have spit it back out.
And this is apparently because Mario's girlfriend, Rosemary, loved chewing gum.
She loved chewing gum, and she loved locking in the place when she jumped.
So, yeah, Greg's story, after that is just, continuing to try and, run the Cheetahmen Games website, commissioning stuff like the book. Or, I think partially. I think he was just very happy to contribute to it. I don't know if he financially supported the author of it all. I hope not. Because, the book does, mischaracterize what CheetahmanGames.com is. Yeah, those aren't spikes. You're fine. It sort of mischaracterizes as a fan site when it is very clearly run by Greg Pavich. And, the entire site reads like an advertisement. Because it is an advertisement for copies of Cheetaman the Lost Levels and Cheetaman the Creation, which is another early version of Cheetaman that he had dumped from that prototype cartridge, basically. So yeah, he's still running that site. A lot of the links of it are broken because a lot of websites that used to cover Cheetaman stuff, a lot of the original interviews, there used to be a website by the name of Nintendo Age that they had an article called My Quest Is Over, which was a pretty extensive interview with some of the Action 52 developers. That doesn't exist anymore. There was a Video Game Museum, which I think is down at the moment. It may come back up. I don't know what the status is, but they had some articles on Action 52 called The Evolution of Action 52 and What's Rarer, a prototype Action 52 cart or a person who's met Vince Perry. So they had a few pretty thorough articles.
Is there a thing on the wiki about... no, my God.
No, it was just very tricky. You had to get on the edge of it. Yeah, so a lot of this information that exists is, buried in archive.org, is buried on the Wayback Machine. So to, write the book now would require, having to cite those, original URLs and knowing what those URLs were. I think I have Wayback links for a few of them. So if I ever do a Action 52 article of my own, I can cite those original sources and possibly the book as well. Because I will eventually do something. This is good for now, though. I think it's good just to get this done, to get this game covered in some capacity, because it is one that has loomed over me for a while. It was originally going to be the 52nd article on the Bad Game Hall of Fame, but then I didn't do that, because I didn't feel like playing Action 52 at the time, so...
Well, you know what? It could be the 104th article, because you can talk about the Genesis game, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
52 plus 52. Fuck.
Game over. That's alright.
Remember how I said, I hope they had a good relationship. Like
now you want them to break up?
No, I'm worried now that she may have played this game. That's like, I made this game, for you, about you, and she's like, oh, we needed to see other people.
It's very sweet of you.
Micro Mike.
He's only the size of a flea, and it's difficult getting from here to there when you're smaller than a strand of hair. It seems like you're in the land of the giants.
Oh, this is that game that just came out about the cops.
Oh, Jesus!
Oh, fuck. Oh,
yeah,
Jesus.
It's this one.
Oh, God.
You have 3 lives left.
This is like that fucking level in Battletoads.
2 lives left. Okay, I want to try this one too. When you run out of lives, inevitably. I'll see how far I can get in this one.
I'm gonna guess you're gonna get as far as level 1. Jesus Christ! Alright, your turn.
Alright, here we go. Okay, I was getting used to controls that one. I don't think the enemies kill you. I think they just push you back. I think there's like obstacles so you need to shoot through, basically. Ooh, that's tough. Yeah, you'd have to memorize the whole...
Yeah. And even then, I don't know how much that helps.
That one killed me. Okay, I want to rewind on that one. Alright, didn't matter anyway, because... You think there's someone out there who's just cracked at this? Who can just...
Game over.
Nah,
I think I got further than you, so...
You might have. Let me pick up a few of these. Let me pick up a little bit of the slack here. Would you mind giving the descriptions for me?
I'm sorry, Cass, if you don't mind, you could hit the button.
Oh, yeah. Alright. Congratulations, Charkie. When do I get to use the victory button and play the animation I made for myself?
When you win, you get to hit the button. That's how it works. That's what you made the button for.
Underground.
Underground. All right, let's check. Underground. Tunnel this way and that in order to find the gold. Be careful of the other strange creatures.
And the mushrooms. Don't forget the mushrooms.
I mean, mushrooms are semi-alive, sure. Why not? That's all this wiki page has. Not even trivia for it. How? At least this looks a lot different than the other games playing. It looks kind of like looks almost like an Apple II game or something.
Oh yeah, I could absolutely see this as an Apple II game. Devious Daryl and his mine adventures.
I fucking love Dangerous Dave. I remember playing that as a kid a lot. The tile set of that game is like burned into my head.
It burned into, yeah, absolutely. It's so hard to see the little... Oh my god! Oh my god. That guy just came up right behind me. How am I supposed to deal with that? I can't shoot behind me! Okay, there we go. So, better or worse than Spelunker?
Is there fall... It doesn't look like there's fall damage, so, better.
Yeah, it might be. This might be the definitive version of Spelunker.
I talk about how much I hate Spelunker. First of all, Spelunker Party's good. I do like that game. But I think what annoys me the most about Spelunker is that you don't...
Wait, hold on.
It's not the fall damage, it's the fact that you die before you finish falling.
Yeah, you die in midair, like when it recognizes the minimum height that is effective.
Yeah.
You can land on the mushrooms and not die for whatever that's worth.
It's like the opposite of spikes in Spelunky then. Where you can walk through them, but if you land on them, you die. This is you can land on them, but if you walk through them, you die.
Oh, this is a tough one. Yeah, I can't kill these enemies because I shoot multiple bullets, but I think, like... Okay, I know what I have to do. Such a tedious way of dealing with this, but... How many levels are in this game?
The wiki had just no more information beyond blurb.
Oh, I can't kill this thing. Oh, this is over.
You know what you would have had to do, actually?
What?
You had to go all the way up on the left side, then head down and shoot from, like, the angle.
Yeah,
or
that ain't
shoot from
happening.
the side. Okay. Rocket Jockey.
There's a game by people who made Lodestar, The Legend of Tully Boldine, also called Rocket Jockey, I believe. It was a PC game they made. Little decent little game. I think it was Rocket Science Productions. I'll read the Lodestar article on the website.
I'm going to assume that the way it's written is the way it's written in the manual. Futuristic cowboy straddles a rocket attempting to lasso various robo-cattle. The lasso gains power as it glow brighter, but gets dimmer and loses power as the bad guys shoot and hit. Did you miss the first obstacle?
I guess I did.
Yeah, it says it has the same thing as Star Evil, where there's like a first obstacle that comes right at you as the first level starts.
This is like a worse
But it's
version of
not as
Stampede on the 2600. That's what the vibe I'm getting from this is. Stampede on the 2600, pretty good game. Maybe not this one so much. I saw a bunch of tiles come into... Like, look at the background here.
Yeah, I saw them. Like a bunch
can't
of the background
replicate it,
elements
but-
popped in.
Can't shoot behind me, so I can't deal with... If you just die, you die if you just get hit. They had the whole thing about the lasso gaining power and getting brighter, but that doesn't seem to be an actual mechanic in this. So, lying in advertising.
You know the good news? We're
Level
halfway
1.
through. This is 26.
It went back to level 1 after that. Non-human.
Non-human. They're not human. They have a mind of their own. They are hungry and they want you as their next meal. Get them before they get you. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's this one. They're certainly not human. Oh, I just fell right through that platform. The platform was a suggestion. Was an idea, not a real platform. Now it worked.
I want to guess that this is one of the last games made.
Because it's so
This is
advanced.
I was gonna say, this is definitely, we've run out of ideas for, like, what to include. Just fucking draw whatever, man.
I'm sure this platform is going to be completely unnecessary, yeah. In fact, it's more of a liability than anything. And there is
No,
fall
you're gonna
damage,
need
though.
it.
Oh, yeah, I saw just at the last second. Oh my god.
I would like to see non-human fan art.
Well, you may be in luck. Let's just say that
Okay.
much. This may have been the graphic that I have for the epilogue slate at the end of the stream, and I may have a fan artist credited for that one, as a matter of fact. Very prescient of you. You read my mind, Charkie. See, that's why we work together. That's why we work together so well. Oh, Jesus. I tried to dodge the bullet, but you can't, like, crouch.
Don't fall into the drill zone or you will die.
Is this even possible? I don't know if it is.
Let me check the notes. Nothing. No notes.
This is the most compelling game by far, though. Oh, yeah, I figured it out. I figured out what you have to do. Executing on it might be a different story entirely, but there you go.
There you go.
Okay, now I'm lost again. How? Okay, you give this a shot.
Oh god. Wait.
Troubleshoot this. Figure this out.
Wait, let me... Okay. Got these controls.
Oh my god, that's clutch. That was great thinking. You just left enough of that tile to be able to...
If there's another worm, though, up ahead, I'm fucked. Oh god.
Well, you can jump over it, maybe? Okay, yeah, okay. You do better with these platformers than I do. You know, if I was thinking earlier, I would have said that, hey, Charkie, you get all the platformers, and I'll get everything else.
Rewind me a little bit. There we go. Ah, okay.
Bullshit. Yeah. You gotta go right. You gotta move right as well.
Yeah.
Okay, no. You gotta do it from here.
Yes, you do have to make a forward jump.
That's enough. That's enough. That's enough of this.
All right, we're never
Fascinating as that is, Crybaby. I'll take this one.
All right, Crybaby. Where's my notes? Here. Try to get Crybaby back to his crib. Nope, that's not what it says. Try to get Crybaby back to his crib, but be careful to avoid open electric sockets, poisons, fire in the stove. Full stop. There are things to help along the way, such as cookies, lollipops, candy bars, and pacifiers. If the baby meets any bad guys trying to kidnap him, he squeezes the bottle and shoots them.
Where's the crib? Which one is it supposed to be the crib? Or the crypt, as it's called.
Yeah. I don't... I have a feeling this is a thing where there's not an actual physical objective that
It's
they
actually just
mention in the
killing
manual,
enemies,
and
yeah.
just kill the enemies. Like, perhaps the crypt is what you... I need to stop saying that. Perhaps that's what you reach at the end of the game, theoretically, if this were to have an ending screen.
Level 2.
Oh, they totally... This is more stolen music. This is just Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Yeah.
Just blatant copyright infringement.
Did you ever... has anyone ever told you... I only found out this the other day, but Twinkle Twinkle Little Star has the same cadence to it as...
Yeah, A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Yeah, I was unaware of this. What are these little fires that I'm putting out?
I think it's literally fires. That's according to the manual.
Shouldn't be on the baby to put that out, especially not with milk. Codeman 38 points out that Baba Black Sheep is also...
Yep.
Interesting.
So is the Gilligan's Island theme.
That's not it.
Yeah, but I made you think about it. I made you try to think about how it went.
You son of a bitch!
If you say anything with enough confidence, people will go like, wait, is that right?
I mean, that's a story of my entire life. That's me failing upwards over the course of 30-something years. Is just saying things with enough confidence that people believe me.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing you can try at home. If there is any phrase that begins and ends with the same letter, if you say it's an anagram, people will try and work it out.
This is how you win.
Like animal avocado. Yeah, that's actually a palindrome. I meant to say palindrome, not anagram, but...
Look at this little guy doing his little sidestepping business. Didn't help him any. This is just gonna go on forever, I think.
Yes, it is.
Level 4, I killed the enemy by walking into them.
I think you got hurt, but enemies disappear when you get hurt, so if it's the last enemy, it still counts.
Yes. I wanna quit back to the menu. There we go.
Alright, let me pull up the next game.
I'm gonna give you slashers.
Okay.
I'll read slashers to you since we're improving the pace a little bit here. They are everywhere. Mean guys with nails that are 9-inch knives, and they like to slash everything that comes into their path. Don't get in their way, or you're the next victim. Oh yeah, it's this one.
Oh, this is... Okay, I got a jump kick, and I got a... It looks like a block, but I'm guessing it's a punch.
Yeah, it'd be a safe bet.
I'm fighting Spider-Man.
I guess he really is a menace after all.
Fighting Lara Croft.
Hey, get back to Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness. We'll deal with you on Thursday.
My arms feel stronger. Are we gonna deal with her on Thursday? Because that is Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah, no, we're not dealing with her Thursday then. Never mind.
I mean, I got nothing, but I figure we're gonna have a crowd on Thursday.
We just stream for all the poor, unfortunate souls that don't have any Thanksgiving parties to go to, also known as the lucky ones.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You still want to do something this week though to keep doing Lara Croft? Like,
yeah, maybe
not
Tuesday.
Thursday?
Maybe Tuesday or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how you can even clear this because you lose health in every fight. I can't imagine.
I don't think things will be different if we try to do that again.
The gameplay consists of 2 levels rounded off in an endless loop. The game is a beat 'em up. You aim with your hand or foot, but they're identical in recoil. If you just press buttons hope for the best, you are more likely to be killed. Follow this tactic. Without it, you will never get through these 2 levels. When the enemy almost came into a tight one, press the hit button and step back a little bit. If you did everything right, then you inflicted damage on the enemy. I don't get what they're trying to say there. It's
crazy shuffle.
Yeah, screw that. Let's just move right along. Him. Educational puzzle game. Picture matching with many levels, games, and options. Test memory and concentration skills. Trivia. The description in the instructions says the game is a puzzle. This is actually an action game.
The walls kill you, by the way. It's a maze where the walls kill you.
Alright, I'm doing this. I'm doing this one. Yep.
Okay.
Fuck off. How am I supposed to hit these things when they're so small? There we go.
Did you manage to hit one? I didn't manage to hit one.
I managed to hit one. I can also just do this because they go through walls. Doesn't look like there's any more pickups spawning in. Oh, wait, no, there it is. It's inside the wall. So what's educational about this? It's a... Level 2.
Learning about, like, futility.
It's a nihilist educational game.
Yeah.
Letters, they mean nothing. Nothing means anything.
Yeah, where's Werner Herzog's Schoolhouse for PC?
Missed a shot. Missed a trick. He should have had his own multimedia suite game. One of those CD-ROM games that's just like a compilation of like AVI or MPEG files strung together. Okay, that's enough of that. That's enough of Crazy Shuffle.
You ready for Fuzz Power? Which has probably the lengthiest... I haven't seen Cheetahmen yet. That's probably the lengthiest
Probably.
article, but
late on, man.
Fuzz Power has quite a lot.
Oh boy.
Alright. Fuzzy must get to the land of Guru. He's got to avoid the walking brushes, hair dryers, combs, and other natural hair disasters. Because if he loses all of his hair, he's bald, and the game is over.
Oh jeez.
He lost all of his hair. You know, if
you have like a Sonic sort of like, whoa god, I don't like looking at this. I hate the look of this.
I was gonna say, like, if your reaction to a hair dryer is you lose all your hair, I think the fight's over.
This has like Captain Novolin vibes. Just like average like household
Elaborate.
thing. Like household
Okay.
like you have to dodge food. You have to dodge like bananas and like fruits in that game.
Right.
Because if you eat too much of it, you die. And then it's like you're a hairy dude who's having to dodge hair care products. Really, you would think the hair care would be like, you know, super useful in his life.
I was about to say, like, elaborate on how the educational game about diabetes reminds you of Fuzz Power.
You play this for a little bit. I'll extrapolate on my thoughts a little. Because it's also like you also have like that spinning move, and that's what also what Captain Novolin does. He can like do a little spin and he hits people with that. Also, you know, BackGameHallOfFame.com/Captain-Novolin. Captain Novolin article, complete story of Captain Novolin.
If I stop in animation like this, that's not good.
Yeah, no, that's. Pro Striker 92 points out this is the same song of Cheetahmen. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. But one of the same songs, right? There's the other one that everyone knows. Which is what they use in the Streemerz remake thing.
Yeah, and I have the Arrange album, Cheetah in the Dark.
I'm not looking too good.
Yeah, that's rough.
That's looking worse. Uh-oh. That one's gonna fuck me up. Yep.
While playing the game, the player will notice what appears to be a gray power meter of some sort that resembles life meters in other Action 52 games, top left corner. The meter is unchanging and serves no purpose.
Fuck. Oh, that was Fuzz Power.
Apparently the third level of this can't be beaten, but I also can't imagine the first level being beaten.
Why don't you tell me about Shooting Gal? Actually, this sounds like a you game.
Yeah, this is absolutely a me game, so go ahead and Shooting Gallery.
Well, still a you game. 7 different levels to test shooting skills. Skeet shooting, gallery shooting, target shooting, quick draw, and a final shootout with bad guys and all. Oh, this is gonna be fun.
I don't know, I'm having a blast. This is the best game I've played so far in this.
The popular YouTuber, quote, AVGN, unquote,
oh, who's this
referred to
guy?
this game as the easiest game ever.
Level 2.
Duck.
When does it become skeet shooting? The skeet shooting sounds fun. And the quick draw.
I'm gonna guess it never becomes any of those.
Also, what is this stance this guy has? He's like aiming the gun above his own head.
He's prone. He's prone and has very powerful ab muscles.
How many more kills do I need?
Which game is there a task for? There's a task for a lot of these, but which one is linked here? Oh, that was for non-human.
Level 3! Oh, this must be the quick draw or something. Oh! Or no, it's just the same shit. Different sprites.
Yep. But if you shoot it really fast in the quick draw... Oh, there's a lose state.
So that should be the easiest game ever. These things are vicious.
That would be kind of fucked up if you went to like a carnival shooting gallery and the things you're shooting at just started to try and attack you.
Yeah.
How do you like it? I'm gonna win the fucking Rasta banana now.
You ever done a shooting gallery?
I don't think I've ever done an actual shooting gallery, either at a carnival or IRL. I've been to a shooting range, but never, like, hit these targets with the BB gun kind of thing.
So, I have done shooting galleries before, like the carnivals and like state fairs and whatnot, but there's a mall near me that's still alive that happens to have a shooting gallery, an indoor shooting gallery with airsoft guns. They shoot these metal, like, panels that go down. There's 50 of them. You have 50 shots. And I played it, and I would hit them. I would nail every target, but they wouldn't go backwards because they're weighted or whatever. So, like, it's that old scam. But the reason I even, like, entertained it for $10 for 50 shots was because they had a Tails plush that I wanted.
Ah, yeah.
And I asked him, like, afterwards, can I just buy this off of you? And you already got 10 of my bucks. Can I give you, like, another 20? Like, no.
I remember going to a carnival once.
That's enough of this fucking game, by the way. It's
Next up is what is up next? Lollipops.
I think this is a U one if I remember correctly, but you read it, please.
The Chocolade monster have taken Lolly with 3 L's in it, so don't worry about it. You are Johnny Jawbreaker and must try to rescue her.
Well, how about
is
it,
this a me
Chief?
game? All right. So I remember going to a carnival once. I think it was actually in the Superdome, which it's a very weird thing to be in the Superdome and at a carnival. It's a weird scene. But fall damage? Yes.
Oh, geez,
why
you
put that
splattered.
there? But I was a child. I went there with my father, and I wanted to play a bunch of carnival games. But my father was
maybe this
smart.
one is me. Maybe you keep telling the story. I'll take care of this.
My father was a real smart ass about all the carnival games because he knew they were all a scam. And the way those carnival games do is a lot of times, like, the people behind the thing would be like, you know, it's so easy to do it, watch me do it, and they would do it, but they would have an advantage that they were hiding, like, they were standing in a certain position where it was, and every time one of the people did it to, like, demonstrate to me, the child, how easy it was, my father would be like, oh, that's impressive, could you do me a favor, could you just move back just a little bit, and then show us how easy that is again? And they'd be like, nah, you already saw it, and he's like, nah, I think you should try it. So he was being a real smartass to these carnival workers.
Yeah, they're all hustlers. You gotta let them do their thing.
Yeah. But I think he was trying to teach to me, as a child.
Yeah, I get
not
that.
to trust any of this.
I think I have to platform here.
I think you're gonna get killed.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on, what if I... Do you think there's a way...
Nope, I don't.
I can't even go down. I can't even go left or right to go down. I think my head was inside of that thing, so like the purple thing is solid, yeah.
I do remember being at the same carnival though, and like, wait, can you stand underneath and then like swing? Does that count?
No.
Like, will it...
Wait, oh, I know what you mean. Okay.
Yeah. You were in like just the right space.
No.
No. I remember being at that carnival and like doing the game where they have all the bottles and you have to throw the ring and catch it on the bottle. And
Classic.
like, if you hit anything, you got any of the prizes because it was like that impossible. Remember, I played it and I got it, and the guy behind the counter was at first surprised and then had a look of being extremely annoyed on his face.
How dare you?
As he handed me this like fucking 3-foot tall teddy bear that I wanted. What game is this? This is
Evil Empire.
Evil Empire.
Arabian Desert has bad Arabians and genie is. Hausha,
Jesus.
the warlord, has stolen the great genie. With it, he will rule the land unless you can defeat his evil empire and save the genie. Oh boy, a politically charged game. I know the Genesis one has literally Saddam. I think this one also has Saddam Hussein in one of the games. So yeah.
Yeah, this one does. I know which one. We're coming up on it.
Another one of those ones where this dude is camped out like right above, and I can't do anything about this.
We're getting into the racial insensitivity block here. I'm looking at the games that are coming up.
Oh, you can jump from the platforms. It doesn't look like there's fall damage in this, so there's a
so
will, there's a
tiny.
way. Oh, and there is fall damage.
Yeah.
It's just not consistent at all. Got him. Do you think this one ever ends at any point, or? Oh wait, hold on.
I don't think I have information. Let's see. Oh, there's gameplay section here. Let's see.
Okay, so the lamp is bad, apparently. Except I can't shoot this one for some reason.
Does not say if it ever ends. By the way, how did you quit that last game we did? Lollipops?
Start and select.
Really? Because, no, wait. Wasn't that one. Which game was it? Shooting Gallery?
Guess so.
Yeah, on Shooting Gallery, it says if you try to exit the game to return to the menu, it crashes.
It must be, like, on actual hardware. I think it probably, like, works in emulation because it has handlers for, like, weird program stuff that might pop up. So there's a variety of enemies. Is this really the strangest one with this tiniest sprite?
This Action 52 database wiki, not very well maintained.
Oh, certainly not.
I'm gonna say. I'm just looking at the Action 52 NES page and, like, the top of it.
It's just a random picture of some dude and it says, my face when I play Action 52.
Yeah.
Codeman does point out that the Action 52 manual includes Arabic as one of the translations. I should mention they do have all the instructions written in like 5 different languages. Arabic is one of them. So, you know, maybe that's why like they knew they were going to market this game in that region.
Well, they also say, in addition to German and Italian, despite it only getting an NTSC release. Granted, they had ambitions for this game.
Remember, the Saudi Arabian like investment. They wanted to come out there. They had like a bunch of stuff in mind. I'm sure.
The quote unquote Saudi Arabian.
Yeah. All right, that's enough of this. We don't have all night.
Next is Sombreros.
Oh boy.
A chivato thief has stolen all the sombreros. Possessive. You must use your pistola, take the law into your own hands, and go get them back.
Rip. I get hit by a car that says rip, but I don't die. See, like, I guess the car is exploding and turning into a rip.
Trivia. A sombrero is a broad-brimmed straw or felt hat, typically worn in Mexico in the southern western United States.
Oh, there's a bad guy, maybe? Got him.
Now, there was supposed to be one thief who stole all the sombreros. There seemed to be quite a few people that you were killing.
Yeah, it's...
I'm not going to say they're the thieves. I'm just saying that you're shooting them.
Vigilantism. I am getting these hats back, though. Are there levels in this, or is this just like an endless scroller? I'm gonna assume there's levels, but...
Does not say.
You don't get any points for collecting the hats, you only get points for killing enemies, so if you're chasing a high score, if you want to be the world record holder in sombreros, don't worry about the hats.
I thought those were like traffic cones, because they look like witch hats.
Those are the sombreros we're getting back.
I guess by the definition of sombrero that the Action 52 wiki gives, that a witch hat is a type of sombrero, right? It's a broad-brimmed felt hat.
Now look at these hats we're picking up. These aren't sombreros. These are like 1920s like flapper hats.
That's true.
Gonna take my girl to the ball. Hats with the bee's knees. Keeps my head cold, or warm, I should say.
Keeps my head. This hat keeps my head cold. It's fucked up. I love it.
Don't mind me. I'm halfway through this Arizona. this hard tea. I wish half of this would get me drunk. I wish I had an excuse. You're so close to the top of the screen.
Video Game King says that there's a game fact walkthrough with like way more detail on like how many levels and stuff are in things. This one has 3 levels and then repeats.
I'm fully aware of what I'm doing.
Drink
Can
up.
You see?
Don't mind if I do. I think I'm stuck.
I've run out of drink, so you're not stuck.
I saved it. The game can continue. We're all better for it. This music. Quite the loop. There's invisible scenery in some of these spots, or just like spots where I can't move. Like you can't go between this. Yeah.
This level feels like it's looping. There is a level after this.
Oh shit, I turned into a skull.
Oh, now you're badass. I would play a sound effect I have if it wasn't like copyright stuff.
Who cares?
I'll do it with my mouth. Da-da-na-na-na.
Oh yes, okay. WWE, famously not litigious at all. It'll be fine.
Well, that's not a WWE. Oh no, I have that one too. I was talking about Bad to the Bone.
Oh, okay. No, I was thinking of the Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
I want to beat this.
I added like the Stone Cold like theme to a Discord server I'm in just to use it in case we were playing something where like when someone breaks glass. And man, that happens way less often than I thought it would. Because I haven't had a chance to use it yet.
Where did that road come from? In the middle of this desert. You know, something tells me they weren't putting their best foot forward when designing the levels for this one. They just phoned this one in at a certain point.
How else are you gonna, like... They had to build a bridge. So, you know...
They could have made it out of wood. They could have used the ones from Dam Busters. There's recycled some assets there. I don't know why I'm committed to seeing this one through.
Yeah,
of all the
I don't
ones.
know. Because the effect of seeing this one through is just go back to level 1. So yeah, I don't know why.
I want to say I beat Sombreros. But Sombreros didn't beat me. Level 4! And it's level 1.
Which is
again.
level 1. Alright. Next one is Storm over D.
It's so storm in the D.
Also known as Storm over Desert. An actual title screen.
Yeah.
Using your tanks, you must avoid the minefield set by the evil army of Satan Hossein. The evil Satan's army of soldiers will kill you or die trying. There's also giant Saddam Husseins roaming around. And tiny ones.
This is like Stalin versus Martians before that game came
Oh
out.
god! This is the goriest NES game I've seen since,
Chiller.
Chiller. Thank you for catching what I was trying to say.
Yeah. I can just run everything over in this one, right? There's no health to speak of.
I'm going to assume that it's not going to end well for you. Your tank is getting more fucked up.
Is it?
I think.
No, I think that's just what it looks like. I think it's supposed to be camouflage.
Oh. Check the wiki. If you touch... Oh, yeah, you couldn't just crash into any of them.
This level sucks because the solid objects are just not spawning where I want them to, like, where I could actually hit them. Let's try staying at the top of the screen. Maybe that'll somehow work out better for me.
I think,
I actually did blow up.
Getting shots will hurt you. Just running into things will not.
Okay, good to know. Good distinction. Does it have a final boss fight against Saddam?
I mean, Saddam is there in every level, so...
These are his imposters. These are his decoys that he uses. Just like Fidel Castro in Black Ops, Call of Duty Black Ops.
We were watching Deadliest Warrior last night.
We sure were.
And it was an episode that was KGB versus CIA. And they were going over, like, how effective of a weapon the CIA's exploding cigar was, the one they wanted to use on Castro. Which, like, and they did all this stuff, this testing to show how well it worked, and they showed it, like, in the simulation, like, how effective it was. That thing famously was one of the dumbest ideas the CIA ever had.
And the KGB guys point that out, like, this is horrible. How do you expect some guy to, like, actually smoke this? How do you expect to get this in their hands? And the CIA guy they brought on, the CIA shield they brought on, I was like, this has been proven effective in the past. Plans have incorporated this and worked. Just, like, trying to defend this horribly goofy idea. Which is always the highlight of Deadliest Warrior. One of my favorite shows is when the quote-unquote experts they have, the representatives for, like, CIA and Spetsnaz and whoever else, get on and get, like, passionate about it, like weirdly passionate about this goofy-ass show. They start to take it seriously. My favorite episode, maybe, is Green Berets versus Spetsnaz, and it ends with the Spetsnaz winning, believe it or not, and they go to the Green Beret, and his quote at the end of the show is like, I don't need some fucking computer nerd to tell me who the fuck would win in a fight, and just, like, taking it really personally, in a really funny way. I've had enough of this game, I think.
Alright, that was Deadliest Warrior Tank versus Saddam.
Saddam wins.
To be absolutely sure, we have to run that simulation 1,000 times.
That's true. No, if we run it 1,000 times, that's when we get the accurate results. 514 times, the tank came out on top. I'm going to give this back to you for a little bit, because that one was draining. This is...
Mash Man. Tell me about Mash Man.
Him. You're a funny-looking dude with a little head and great big feet. Oh, sorry, you want me to read the description? You've got to mash everything in sight before they somehow mash you. Another one of these big feet games.
Yeah. Okay, I'm getting... Okay, well, don't mash that.
This dude has bust-a-groove feet.
Yeah. What?
Okay, rewind.
Okay, don't get those.
Yeah, whatever that is. jump over it, presumably. Yeah. Do you dare?
No, I just want to ask, what is it?
Fortune
it was
cookie.
drawn on purpose.
It's a fortune cookie with the fortune sticking out.
Alright, then what's that one?
That's a fortune cookie fortune with a cookie sticking out of it.
Alright. Up.
Mm-mm. Hey, don't walk so close to it. Yeah, it's...
Enemies don't actually... Nothing moves besides me.
Yeah. Not exactly the most challenging one, theoretically. Let's see. Mashman consists of 3 levels. All 3 levels look similar in that they take place at night in a land with many odd-shaped colored blocks. They finish the level when they have gone a predetermined distance in that level. You can't destroy sharp enemies. Well, these ones that aren't sharp, you get that.
The fortune cookies did not look sharp to me.
Yeah, no. So maybe you can destroy them. Who knows?
Also, well, it killed me the last time I tried that.
Okay, never mind.
Also, calling a triangle an enemy is very generous. Okay, I guess it's... Okay, sharp... it comes to a point, I guess. What does this say? Nernga...
Slip.
Just sleep. This is actually like a coded, call for help from the developers. We are stuck in the cave.
Please free us. Alright, I think you've played enough of Mashman. I know this is engaging. I know this is super exciting for you, but it's...
Hey, mate. Got it. Quit. Not let me quit.
Oh, no! It went back to the menu for a second, and... No!
Okay.
Okay.
I found it.
That one is so tricky. They came. Oh, they sure did. They came from outer space. The killing all of the green-eyed monsters only to be attacked by their leader. That's it. That's all it said.
Alright.
So it's a scrolling shooter minus the scrolling, by the looks of it. So it's fire breathers, but single player.
Yes.
This one's kind of a bop. It was probably stolen from that sound library.
I don't know if this one has exit. I don't think so. Is the screen wrap? Nope.
Depends on the game. Is that a
I'm
power
gonna
up?
assume. Yes, it is. I don't know what it changed.
Wiki says goal is destroy enemy spaceships in order to pass the next level. Collect P and get the chance to take more damage. It must be like health. That's what they're trying to say.
Get the chance. You could win more damage. To you. Lot more P's.
More P's than there are
Ps.
enemies
Holy
at this point. Shit. You're a wash in P.
Don't say that.
I think you died.
I did die.
This is still level 1. You're trying to quit out of it?
Yeah.
I love how reliable that little shortcut is, that little controller shortcut. We are the last page, by the way.
We are.
And it only took
Lazer
us
League.
2 hours and 45 minutes to get there. You're trapped in a warp with only your laser. You must try to stay alive collecting new weapons on the way and avoiding the traps they've set for you until you can be rescued by the Lazer League.
Oh, it's X and Z. Except you can't turn around.
So it's like Micro Man, except there's not walls in the way.
No, Micro Mike was a different thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this
I mean,
is
look, the guy looks similar.
This is that Stampede game.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. I guess that's more accurate to...
Or, not
whatever
Stampede,
it is.
Space Rodeo.
Yeah, Rocket Jockey.
Rocket Jockey.
I love the music in this one, especially.
This was stolen from the Atari. Does this have levels? It does not look like it.
No information on it. Oh, sorry, there are only 2 levels in the game. They differ only in the background color and a couple of enemies. This is what it's like to travel through space.
Yeah. Oh, boss!
Oh, shit! And it's the same boss logic as that one boss that... Yeah.
Yep.
Ah, damn. I'm gonna leave this in your capable hands.
Okay, I thought it was never gonna come back. Ah, fuck. You gotta rewind me.
Yeah. Section Z, says Tiger Buck.
Oh, good. Yep, that's different enemies, alright. I'm assuming the boss is gonna be exactly the same.
Probably. You don't have to play through it. You can quit any time.
Or we could just do this and see the boss.
Mm-hmm. Want me to fast forward it too? As long as you're fully cheating at this point? Oh shit.
Maybe rewind a little.
Oh, you don't say. Okay, here you go.
Ah, fuck.
That's all you get.
Alright.
Quit out of this.
Maybe you can fast forward. Okay.
No, let's get out of this.
Wait.
No.
I almost had it. Almost had it. There we go.
Billy Bob! If I remember correctly, this is actually one of the more interesting ones. Mary Lou has disappeared. The bad guys have her. Billy Bob is stuck in jail and must find his way out from deep within this prison in the desert by traversing all the levels and rescuing Mary Lou.
The desert?
Yeah, so...
Oh, God.
Were you expecting a Prince of Persia-like?
Oh.
Yeah, this one I remember. This one I am fascinated by. Because I want to know how much is in it. Alright, let me give this one a shot.
Alright. It's up to jump on this one.
Yeah. Okay. I can go back, for what it's worth. I wonder if there's a way to do a running jump.
You think this game can, like, take 2 inputs at the same time?
Shoot person A button, climb the ledges. The player needs to guess the moment as it spears, walking down the corridor close to the ceiling due to the above reasons. Controls, as in many other Active platformers, do not work well here. When jumping, you must quickly release the B button, as holding the button blocks movement. So it claims there's a jump button here. That is... Oh, I wonder if... I was going to try to grab the ledge on the way down, you know what I mean? Like Prince of Persia style, like, oh, this is a tall one, so I must... But...
You give me way too much credit.
Wait, hold on! There was a jump there for a second. Let me practice on this screen.
This screen is going to super kill you.
There's totally a jump button that is not just up. Up is for climbing ledges, but there is a... I jumped for like a millisecond.
Alright, let me try it.
Yeah, give it a shot. There is a jump, but there must be like some sort of weird wind up to it, or maybe it only works with this from a specific frame of Billy Bob's.
Huh.
Because he has so many frames of animation, I wonder if... Yeah! You see that?
Oh, I understand. God, this... Okay, hold up. Give me for a rewind so we get all the way back to...
Oh, you want to go all the way back to the ledge?
Yeah, all the way. Yeah, I don't... This is being bullshit right now. Okay.
Okay, how did you do that?
It is like forward and B at the same time.
Okay.
If you just hit B, you do not jump.
Okay, so you have to get on the edge here. Okay, yeah, there we go. I can't shoot anymore now. Whatever
B
that's
is not
worth.
B is not a jump unless you're also hitting forward.
Jesus Christ, the edges of the screen are unforgiving. You just gotta know that it's gonna be a trap every time. This game's almost something, though. This is almost an idea. Granted, it's a very well-treaded and well-worn idea.
Yeah. Do you think NES Works is going to cover Act 52 when they get there?
Oh, Jeremy's going to have to do it, and I feel bad for him. I'll send him a bottle of gin. I'm amazed I didn't die of fall damage there. Instead, I'll just... Oh! Secret passage!
Oh, it's a Metroidvania.
Nothing I can do here! Can I climb back up?
I was going to have to include this in Metroidvania Works, too.
Oh, God. Break out the graph paper, Jeremy. I can't climb up because there's no animation for facing this and climbing up.
Oh,
you can only
cool.
face right and climb up. This one is... Like, this one feels like there's, like, probably, like, something to this one, right? Like, this one feels like, of all the games we've played...
Someone had an idea, at least.
Yeah. I think this is the one that's actually listed as number... Okay, you have to jump on this screen and just know that it's going to be... Probably a relic for when this game was like probably like a smooth scroller at some point until they realized they couldn't pull that off. Shit.
Well, I mean, yeah, have fun. Oh.
Okay.
He gave up.
Now this one is tricky because that's a edge. I can't jump from this spot, though. Yeah, there's certain spots where you just can't jump. If you're too close to the ledge, they don't like that. Or maybe I just lost the magic touch for... No, I got it still. It's just, you can't... Oh, I see! The ceiling is too high. You have to jump where there is not ceiling, maybe? And then the shit just comes right from the ceiling and kills you, because that's where all the hazards in this game are. Let's see what happens if I fall on the spikes. Oh, I guess I don't even make it this spike. It's a spelunker,
Yeah, I mean, what'd you expect? Alright, let me...
You give this a shot. You give this a shot. Good job.
Right, that was my shot. Okay, hold
Sorry.
on. Wait. Okay. Oh, Jesus.
How did you...
Yep. Just platforming. Okay, I fucked up there. Fucked up there? Alright. Oh, jeez. Okay.
You have to wait.
Jesus.
You can't wait.
Alright.
Okay, give you the previous screen.
Alright.
Good luck!
God. Well, I mean...
I think you'd have to go to the previous screen, reset it, so you have better luck, so there's not an arrow there.
But you see what's gonna happen if I go to the previous screen, though, right?
Yeah, but you can dodge that. You can get out of that one. Yeah, if you edge it and then you just... like, walk backwards.
Come on.
You have to not run when you make it on there. You have to stand still. That works, too. Okay, you know, that's enough of Billy Bob. Let's...
Let me... Okay. City of Doom.
Hi, Chihuahua. City of Doom. While scaling the city, skyscrapers, to rid the city of the evil insect plague, you better shoot well and accurately, because the fall is a long way down.
Oh, crazy climber? With guns?
Yeah.
I can shoot down.
Handy.
Alright,
Spider-Man
tell me what my
game.
strategy is.
I haven't picked up on it. What could it possibly be? This is one of the games that has a health bar, by the way, at the bottom left corner.
You're right. Good thing I don't need it. If this building actually has a top, or is this gonna keep going? can really never tell. Yeah. Wow, this is a big building. Yeah. Ah. Oh, yeah. Oh, gee. Good. Well, good thing I was close to heaven. Alright, alright. Alright, I can climb on windows. Wait, what? Oh, I'm taking damage as I do it. Okay. Level 2. Alright. Alright, that was, City of Doom. Bits and Peace. Right. Alright, let's do it. Can you read me that trivia? Pretty sure that's an enemy from Karnov that's walking by. That is not a werewolf, that is a horseman. For sure. I mean, I know it is a werewolf, but it is a horse. You're right. Yeah, I see it. Yeah. No, you can't shoot. Period. No, you can't face backwards. Bits and pieces.
Oh,
Blips.
the people weren't okay. I was muted for a second there. I made a Dark Universe joke and everything, and it just went. Well, shit. I wonder how much time I lost there. That's alright, we'll be okay. Beeps and Blips. Robots microscopic and humongous. Here they come, ready your weapons, and fire.
Beeps and Blips, so... No, let's actually... Oh, Cass was muted since the start of this climbing game.
Great! I just read some messages from chat anyway during that, right?
I don't remember. I remember you said, oh, 1-up.
Hey, you got it 1-up. Good for you.
I remember you said that's why I have to shoot down.
That one is not dying. Yeah, that's... Manchester. Manchester, you. Manchester beat, according to the manual. You must try to keep the rhythm, but noisy little critters won't let you. Roll the drums as they go away temporarily, but they'll be back. Also, does it mean that we didn't get a description for Beeps and Blips? That no one hear it? Beeps and Blips. Robots microscopic and humongous. Here they come. Ready your weapons and fire. That was Beeps and Blips. Music-themed adventure, yeah.
Didn't it say something about keeping the rhythm?
Yeah, it's a rhythm game. You have to time your attacks. It's like Metal Hellsinger.
You cannot attack to the left, by the way. There's only a sprite for attacking to the right. Oh, there's a musical sting every time you jump. That's what makes it really good.
Yeah, I see. In case people are curious why I'm muted, by the way, it's because of you can hear me as I talk, the noise in the background. I was trying to make sure it wasn't getting picked up, so it's my bad. It's fruitless. I shouldn't even bother trying to combat background noise at this point.
Oh, I can just attack those things.
For what it's worth.
Well, Manchester.
Alright, this is boss. This is the one that was supposed to be the boss for us initially, but that's not what ended up happening. Instead, the description reads, the Toad is the Mafia boss who uses salamander hitmen. They're all out to get you, but you can beat them as long as your partner, Spectre, keeps a good eye out for those bad guys. Oh yeah, this one.
Good run animation.
So what's the difference between this and Contra, really, if you think about it? Oh, you can't aim up in this one. That's probably a big difference.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying.
That plot was inspired, though. This is Mafia bosses, Salamander Hitmen, etc. This one deserves a standalone. What was that, dude?
Was what, dude? That dude?
Yeah. I guess that's a Salamander Hitman.
Yeah, it's all laid out in the plot for you. I don't know what's hard to follow. Can you tell I'm trying to restart?
Yep. Dead ants. Dead ant. Dead ant. Dead ant. Dead ant. Help the ant protect the anthill from the intruder and protect the queen. Push pebbles to close the hole against intruders, but it's not easy. I'll give this one a shot.
I'll go for it.
You can only have one shot on screen at a time. They change the rules so frequently when it comes to these ones. I can just shoot through the wall, though, so ultimately. But, uh-oh. I think I can wrap around. So they give you an out here. Of sorts. I mean, I'm basically buying myself time right now, because I can't do anything to shoot to the left or right. I'm just delaying the inevitable. I gotta get to that guy before he comes down here, then I'm double... Oh, wait, that one guy went up. The other one came back down. So there's a will, there's a way.
Level 2. Did you rewind because you thought you had died?
I didn't rewind.
Oh, I thought I saw it rewind. Yes. I'm seeing things.
Oh, I did rewind the one time. Yeah, you're right. I did rewind when I did die. Like that. This one is cruel. It's like, what if in Space Invaders you could keep going when they made it to the bottom of the screen and just wrap around left and right? They dared to ask the question. Oh, geez, how many guys can pile up down here? Oh, my Firefox just crashed too. So I have to refresh that so I can still see the stream manager. You're taking over?
I'll take care of this. Yeah.
Yeah. This music is like the score to my descent into madness. It's
about as close as the NES can get to a shepherd's tone.
Wait, I'm reading the next one in the manual, and this can't be right.
Yes. I bet it is. Because I also read ahead to the next one in the manual.
What game is that? Number... Go back to the main menu. We're done with that one. 47.
Number 47, Hambo.
Alright, reading this one from the manual. Are you kidding me? Hambo's Adventures. Donkey Kong type of game. Try to get Hambo to the top and watch out for the rolling balls. Yeah, and all the foreign language descriptions like Selon le modèle de Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong Spielart. Gioco simile a Donkey Kong. Hyogo tepe Donkey Kong.
Why don't games now still do that? Like the instruction manual for Liza P comes out and it's like Bloodborne type of game. Tried it. Try to get Pinocchio to the top and watch out for puppets.
That's so wild.
Donkey Kong.
Yes. It's just one
over.
life to live. Oh, two lives now.
One up.
Woo. I was looking at that one up earlier.
Yeah.
Dynamite at the bottom?
Yeah, I don't know if that does any. No. I wanted to go back for that one up.
I want to see you get the dynamite. All right.
Okay. Well, you saw me.
Yeah, I wanted to see if it was like a weapon you could use potentially.
Fuck.
All right, I'm giving this one a shot.
All right.
I didn't know the jump button. All right, here we go. Why don't I get a one up?
I don't know, game likes me better.
Oh, I saw it up here at the bottom at the end, last second, but now it's not there. It must be like you cross some invisible tile or something, and that's what makes it.
Yes, but I don't know why it's random. I see immediately where it is. Video Game King says, where do you think the term Souls-like come from? Yeah, I know, but they don't just say, like, Dark Souls type of game.
That's enough of that.
Lords of the Fallen, Dark Souls type of game.
That one is, I'm almost interested in that Hambo game, but I know we're getting to one right now that is going to be very interesting.
Time Warp.
I'm giving this one to you.
Alright, Time Warp Tickers, as it's also known as.
As the ticker continues, you must stop the hour blasters and jump the time warp to stop the tickers.
Yep. That's me. Time?
According to the fourth unnamed developer of the game's famous death sprite that simply states time is a reference to a repeated voice sample saying the same phrase in his prior unnamed Miami dance song. So it's a musical, so it's an inside joke that made it in here.
So this has the same jumping controls as its B, but it only works if you're pressing a direction. Time?
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 That one walked right through me.
Time?
I love the animation on the finger. It's actually...
This is actually one of the songs they stole from Atari ST thing. I mean, I'm not making that one up.
Yeah.
This is one of the ones.
Jeez Louise. Oh, the jump doesn't... Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be hitting a direction.
The game has no rules. No consistent rules, anyway. I can just flick in the air if I need to stay up here for a second. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing how they can screw up the jumping in so many different ways depending on, like, the game. It's honestly impressive. This one I want to make it, like... I just want to see more of this. That's a jam, though, going on. Like you said, not courtesy of anyone who worked on the game, but, you know. Okay, so okay, there we go. I can hit him from down low. That's good. I just want to see what the next stage looks like. I want to see if they have a different background or if it's just more of the same. Assuming this ever ends, which is, you know, a question I have to ask myself routinely with these games.
Well, the game does consist of two stages. There you go.
Time?
Time.
Whatever. Okay.
Time to move on to the next game?
I think so. We're coming up.
Jigsaw.
This is another one of the ones that's broken on the Revision A cartridge, so, you know,
right.
not have seen this one. This one's you.
Right.
Challenging Jigsaw puzzle shows you picture, then scrambles it, and you must put it back together. Finish one, and they get more and more difficult. Okay, you ready for a puzzle game?
Now, Chet, do you think, like every single other puzzle game description that we have read, when I click on it, it's just going to be a platformer game? Place your bets now.
No, they wouldn't do us like that. Oh, they got me.
I should have made a poll and like waited like 2 minutes.
That's alright.
Dead.
Oh, I see what you're trying to do there. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Good strategy. Good thought. That nail gun is powerful. Must be 9-inch nails.
Oh, if I go down there, I'm fucked. Wait. Hold up.
You're cooking. You're cooking.
I was trying to get like a Super Mario thing going where I get ejected. Alright. Good. Yeah. You walk away. Jigsaw!
This is actually the inspiration for Jigsaw from the Saw movies. This was his first torture device. It was, you have to clear this game, otherwise it'll clamp down on your head, and...
I want to play a game. 52 of them, in fact. I would like you to invest in my project.
We had a Saudi prince, but they dropped out. It's... What were you thinking?
That I could hide like in this one?
Still playing this one, huh?
Nope, that's not... Nope.
Not so
right.
easy, is it? Ninja Assault.
Ninja Assault.
We're up to game 50. The Master has given you the task to defeat the Zin-Zan Evil Ninjas Tribe. Prove you are worthy. Defeat the evil tribe while avoiding the Chinese stars and other objects.
What is...
I think it's supposed to be like a reflection, like you're walking on water, or like it's a big shot. I can't... I'm guessing, because this is more surreal than fucking, than Manchester Beat or anything else we played.
Wait, let's be quiet. I want to hear this voice sample. Crunchy.
Not bad for the NES,
voice
but...
It's significantly more deep fried than, like, the title screen is.
So, I don't love beat-em-ups either in most cases. So, what's the difference between this and, like, the Double Dragon? Really, they get
what's
down
the
to
what's the difference between this and River City Rampage, really, when you get down to it?
Well, River City Rampage is a different game completely, isn't it? Isn't that the shitty retro GTA type game?
Okay.
I remember that game used to be, like, inescapable. It was like, I felt like it was in every bundle. It just
Hold on, Cass. I'm not thinking of River City Rampage. What game am I trying to say?
River City Ransom, you goof.
Ransom, thank you.
Also known as the only beat 'em up I actually like. No, River City Rampage is that top-down GTA 1 and 2 like.
You're right. Which is a bad game. I just could not place the name
We're
of
both
it.
wrong. Retro City Rampage, which makes more sense given its theming. That game sucks.
You know, that other game, like Shakedown Hawaii, I think was the name of it, or Shakedown Miami. Video Game King, please correct me. No, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about the game that came after Retro City Rampage. That game is actually okay. Way better than Retro City.
You know what game I think of when I think of...
You will be able to tell me what game I'm actually
When I think of Retro City Rampage, I also think about Breath of Death 7 and that other game, the Skeleton, like those two RPG games that like are retro-styled RPGs. I think it's like Cthulhu Saves the World. You know what games we're talking about, right? Those two?
And Breath of Death 7.
Yeah, that's
8,
those two games that were just like, I have like 100 copies of those because I used to buy all the bundles and they were in every bundle. Yes. And they just looked like the least appealing games in the universe to me.
Horror IT House says, yes, it is Shakedown Hawaii.
Very good.
And so, yeah, it is basically another Retro City Rampage, but it's like better. Like, I don't know how to describe how it's better, but it's a game I actually played through all the way, so it must be better.
Clearly.
Because I dropped Retro City real fucking fast. Maybe Breath of Death and Cthulhu Saves the World is something we look at eventually on here. I don't know.
Why
they probably
right?
deserve it.
They're probably fine. They're just oversaturated to the point where I'm personally annoyed by them.
it's mean of me to actually like say like start this one by saying like, look, let's give the devs of Action 52 a lot of credit, and then come later and say like, yeah, fuck Breath of Death, the devs deserve us going after that game.
If the developers behind Breath of Death 7 and Cthulhu Saves the World listening, we're sorry.
yeah, sorry.
But you should also feel sorry for giving me 100 keys for your game. So really, who's the true villain? Who's the real monster here?
You managed to market that game and get a lot of exposure for it. Too much exposure for it. Good job.
Hey, does this game ever end, by the way? Let's...
We won't find out.
Alright, Robbie Robot, I'm leaving this one to you, then I'm taking Cheetahmen. I'm going to read the description of this one, then I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick before Cheetahmen. Robbie and the Robots. Robbie must lead his good robots against his evil brother Brainy, but Brainy has his own robots and it's not going to be easy. Which reminds me, there's an Atari Lynx game that looks that this kid... It's like he plays a kid like Todd's Adventures in Slime World or something. I don't know. Someone in chat will remember that while I very quickly run to the bathroom.
I select other things in Parsec while they're gone. I see Double Dragon Kunio-kun Collection. Can I go click on that? No? Chat, how you doing? Chat says, remember Gish, Aquaria, Revenge of the Titans, Frozen Synapse, Hunnam Bundles truly were the X52 in the 2010s. Most of those games are good, though. But yes, I mean, we're ragging on Breath of Death and Cthulhu Saves the World for being oversaturated. Meanwhile, yeah, Frozen Synapse and Revenge of the Titans got just as much coverage. I think part of it is that Breath of Death and Cthulhu Saves the World just it seemed exhausting. Like
Frozen
the style they were going for. Yeah, but I was saying I think the difference between those and the Cthulhu Saves the World and like the other kind of RPG ones was that to a certain crowd, which I think is Cass and I, that sort of like retro worship seemed exhausting.
Yes, absolutely. Like that's where I was coming from at a certain point where it was just like, and I get into this in the article on the Graveyard. I think I talk about my past, like how there was a period where I hated where indie was a pejorative, and you always associate with like the retro throwback graphics, and people thought they were lazy. It's actually really hard to do pixel art, as it turns out, especially like really smooth stuff. So like obviously benefit of hindsight. 10 years later, I'm a bit more mature in how I observe and analyze games. But yeah, there was a point in time where it's just like if it was an indie game, if it didn't have like a big name publisher and it had 8-bit graphics, I'm like fuck this. That's why I hated VVVVVVV for the longest time. I still don't love it, but that game was like my kryptonite.
I think part of which is still why like I kind of side-eye Cthulhu Saves the World is the fact that it's that and the whole like Cthulhu kind of like it's a bunch of things that were of its time that kind of still felt exhausting.
And the final boss is Epic Bacon Narwhal, and you fight him, and the pirates and zombies both help you out, and it's like that sort of.
Whoa! I'm very lucky that I did not fall down that pit immediately. I think if I wasn't holding forward, I might have died.
Video which saying it's a Reddit game, and it's like, yeah, that's all my gold to you, all my upvotes for you, Cthulhu Saves the World.
Do you remember Death Spank? That series of games?
Yeah.
That also kind of like traded in the whole like bacon as a punchline, as the setup and punchline kind of thing.
Yeah. Man, 2010s fucking sucked.
What was why was bacon like the joke and the punchline for so long?
Epic Mealtime. Epic Meal. That's the answer. Is Epic Mealtime came out? Yeah.
Did Epic Mealtime precede it or follow it?
Preceded. They're the ones who kicked it off because they were putting bacon on everything, and now they like get like 10,000 views per video. But like that one guy in charge with the beard, like is like a boxing coach for all the YouTubers to get into boxing now, so he's doing just fine. But that channel is not. Anyway, that's a whole other story.
Yeah, like, anyways, less important than that, Cheetahmen, just some game.
Yeah, just some random game. It's the last game. Who cares? Okay.
Did you want to, like, talk about Cheetahmen? Give it the proper...
Yeah, I mean, we got into it with, like, some of the notes earlier. I mentioned that, you know, it was very Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles inspired. It became, like, the magnum opus. It's going to have the animated series. It has the comic book that comes with the game. So we have to play through this one.
We get a full-on intro here.
Yes. And, you know, the game is still called Action Game Master in the code and whatnot, and even on the title screen for this game, after this intro, which goes to show how late in development they sort of had to pivot, and it was the Cheetahmen without an H.
You know, that screen's kind of what it looked like when I went into VR chat the other day.
Don't worry, we will fight for you. The Cheetahmen ran off, and now, the Cheetahmen! This is the big one, and in this game, we're going to alternate between the 3 Cheetahmen, and we're going to face enemies from some of the previous games. That's how they sort of recycled some of their assets
Game
here.
Master.
Yeah.
Let's check out that description. It says, boy gets... Sorry, let me start that over. Boy gets dragged into the TV while playing video game, changes character into one of 3 Cheetahmen, and must fight off all of the bad guys from the previous 51 games. All of them.
Every last one. Can't jump as this guy.
The name of the game...
There's supposed to be a health bar, by the way, but it doesn't show up.
The name of the game, the Action Game Master, was translated as the Atomic Game Master for other languages in the manual. Audio cuts out anytime, or song cuts out anytime stuff happens.
Oh,
Nope,
I have to
can't do
scroll
that.
a little more to the right, and now we go
Nope,
up.
oh,
No, wait, no. A
nope,
little more to the
more.
right, now we go up.
There you go.
It's hard doing two directions of scrolling on the NES. It's actually really hard to do.
Yeah. Surprised this isn't one of the songs they stole, because this is a bop.
Yeah, no, this is all Mario. In fact, he still does remixes. He still does music. He has a SoundCloud, and he remixed this song 5 months ago prior to recording this.
You know what? The thing I think I just said was very insulting. I apologize to Mario.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's a talented enough composer, but like a lot of these games are not his best foot forward, let's say. And then the guy who came in afterwards and just stole all those Ed Bogus tracks, you know, who filled in the rest with that.
That legitimately was a very insulting thing I said, so I feel bad.
You're fine. He understands. He knows his lot in this life, in this world. Oh, that was Saddam Hussein. Let's rewind. I want to see Saddam. Yeah,
congratulations on stopping the Gulf War.
That's all it would have taken. I actually do have a Mario Gonzalez quote.
We got him.
If you wouldn't mind opening up the Google Doc, and if you look under Mario's name at the top of the article, there's a quote that him reflecting on his legacy, as it were.
The one that says game designer, story writer, composer?
Yeah, I believe this is from his blog.
Okay. Alright. He says, I was there at the birth of the video game industry of Atari and always dreamed of making video games, said Mario. Somehow Destiny placed me at the right place and right in time. Sorry. Somehow Destiny placed me at the right place and time for the opportunity to create Action 52. It isn't surprising, being so young and inexperienced, that making 52 games in 3 months would have the results I intended. I am proud of the fans, and following it has garnished over the years, reaching almost cult status. And I'm very happy to be part of video game history, even if it's only for the infamy of Action 52. I had a hard time getting through that sentence.
No, that's alright. It's getting late in the night. Oh, boss fight! I can't tell if I'm hitting him or not.
I heard the...
Oh, there we go. Yep. Hercules. You want to play as Hercules?
Sure. Uses raw strength as his only weapon. Jump if you can. But you must fight this. Jump if you can. Fight if I let you.
Survive if I let you.
Alright. Jump if you can. Now, does he have like a weird...
Yeah, infinite jump, yeah. And wrap around the bottom of the screen. Yeah, but there are hurt tiles at the bottom there. Let's let you...
Okay.
You're gaming it out. You're figuring it out. So. You are taking damage. It doesn't show you the damage happening, but...
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and give you this out right here.
Fuck. Okay.
All right, I'm taking back over control of this.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be right back. I know we're at the end, but I'll be right back.
Let me figure out the
need to
jump
put some
trick.
food in my body.
Yeah, that's fine. How do I do the jump trick though before you go? Is it? Oh, okay, never mind. I got it.
Yeah, you're figuring it out. It's jumping and attacking.
Oh, it is tricky to do though. It's not completely easy. Okay, I got it though. I hit that one with my head. That's good enough. Look at that hammer on the ground. What game is that from? And toy cars. Yeah, this is really just like everything. This is like playing the hits right here. The little pickle guy. This is adorable. Like, let's be honest here. This rules. Like, if I was just gonna cobble together a game like this, and like, you're going inside the game. This is inside the cartridge is what they're trying to go for here. There's ambition here. They got handed, the Active Enterprises developers got handed this premise by Vince, and they tried their damnedest to make it happen, to make something like competent, something that like ties the whole game together. Gatorbox in chat saying, do you know there's a requirement for this game to have 34 different enemies in it? Google Cheetahmen Rule 34 for more info. I don't know if I can sign off on that. Who knows, there might be a few results in there that, This guy is tough. This little pickle guy, which game was he even from again? Was he Haunted Halls? No, he was Ooze, right? Ooze had the pickle-looking enemies? Yeah, no, I'm right. I'm correct. Check. This is tricky. Okay, there we go.
How most of this level is like dodging bullets, and this is like the fucking biggest character out of all of them.
Yeah.
But that is a huge sprite for an NES sprite.
Yeah, it's segmented probably into like 4 or 5 separate.
Oh yeah, I mean absolutely, but you generally do not play as characters this big in NES games.
Yes. Codeman38, can you read his comment so I can follow up on it?
Say, I love how Cheetahmen even became a meme in Japan.
Sorry for the flashing screen, folks. Forgot about that one.
Hey, you have a life bar now.
Yep. Now that works.
I love how Cheetahmen became a meme in Japan despite never getting released there, to the point of the music getting used in Sayabon Action.
Yeah, Cop Mario, which we played for the parody game stream, if you remember. Yeah, so this game was huge on Nico Nico Doga back when that was a thing. Oh, I think that was the protagonist of Haunted Halls, now a villain in this game. But yeah, so that was like really Cheetaman's first... Yeah?
I was going to say, you got the bad ending in Haunted Halls. Succumb to, like, the, evil that was in her.
The darkness within. She got possessed by a ghost. Yeah, so, like, Cheetahmen's, or Action 52's, like, first real blow-up on the internet prior to AVGN was, like, Nico Nico Doga. Japanese players in search of, like, Kusoge games they could, like, mine for comedy and for, like, sprite animations and stuff. Came across Action 52, came across Cheetahmen in particular, and seemed to really take fascination with it. It has, like, all the remixes. It has, like, a bunch of, MADs, which are, like, the animated music videos and stuff. I think we're coming up on boss time here. Yep, there we go. I think there's a spot I can stand here. Yeah, here we go.
Yep.
I gotta time the punch, though.
I how the music slows down when things are like...
That's because they're made of so many sprites. There's actually like a sprite limit issue here happening.
Yep.
But yeah, so I imagine Japan would discover this in the same way that I was talking about earlier, that I discovered this game, which was going through, like, full sets of ROMs for the NES, noticing Action 52 at the top of it, playing it, and just being like, okay, what the hell is this? Now, he's supposed to have text here. He doesn't. It's in the game. It just doesn't load properly. They addressed the wrong bank in memory. So Ares has to go without. Ha! Well. He cannot do the jump glitch. We're back to a regular platformer again. And no health bar either, for what it's worth. I do remember him being the toughest one, because enemies come at him fast. And I don't want to lose all my health. Jeez Louise! I guess I really do have to take care of that guy, because he dive bombs you otherwise. not help that their projectiles are the same sprite as... It also doesn't help that I can't crouch and shoot. I can't aim down. Wait, hold on, can I do this? Yeah, there we go. Alright, I figured it out. Jeez Louise. 1,000 ways to die in this game. So there were some guys peeking at me from behind the shadows. Are they disappearing on like a per frame basis? There's so much interesting stuff. There's so much like, that guy is a little too short to hit, which leaves me with this one that's too tall to shoot. The amount of like memorization you have to do here to clear this on like 1 credit. So if you want to have any chance of actually beating this legitimately, you have to account for every turn, every corner, every screen.
Have I been on mute this whole time?
Yes, you have.
Okay, good, because I left the room and I didn't want those noises.
How do I deal with this? Okay, jump, jump. Jump. Tap, 1 pixel right, dump. Ah!
No.
I think I just need to tank it, but I don't have the health to do it.
You know, considering the fact that he only tracks you if you jump, I think you jump over him. Like, get a running start.
Nope, he goes up. Okay.
Goes up too fast, yeah.
There's me trial and erroring my way through this.
Rapid Fiasco says, wow, I went to a food festival, ate a bunch of food, came home, and you're still at it. Man, I wish I had done that.
Yeah. I went to a food festival the other month.
Mostly because I'm hungry. How was the food festival the other month?
It was okay. I had dumplings, and then I had a deep-fried Uncrustable.
Ooh.
You know, fuck it. Let's take a death here.
I've never been to a... Oh, hey! Secret.
Level 10.
Oh.
Nothing I can do in this one.
You get fucked up when you get this far.
That's because there's only supposed to be 6 levels. Okay, let's rewind. I showed that off at least. Okay, so what I need to do is actually like go back and like figure out where I had. Yeah, okay, so I have 2 hits here, so I can survive the hit from the green skull. If I can clear it from this point without taking any more damage, then we can proceed the way it's supposed to be. I can't tell if I got hit there, or if...
Well, that... Alright, I thought that was the end getting hit.
That one was.
Yeah.
Okay, so book I gotta jump over. I can't hit that guy down there, so I have to... I took damage there. So it's jump shoot. That one hurts. Okay, that's right. 2 enemies here. So I gotta kill the skull.
Okay.
That one I can tank.
Alright.
Okay, so purple walls. This is platforming.
Alright.
Oh, jeez. Oh, man. There's gotta be some sort of way to do this. Oh my god! Can I jump over this guy? No.
No.
Of course not. Ooh.
Ah, you got him. Spawns again. Nope.
Okay, I just need to do it quicker. What was Frappe Fiasco's comment about DJ?
My friend is a DJ and she likes to put in X52 songs, specifically a Cheetahmen remix song where it says, "You bought me X52 for my birthday, now prepare to die."
This definitely has last stage energy here. Let's scroll it a little bit to the left so I actually have a little bit of room to see ahead of me. No enemies.
It's building up atmosphere. I'm gonna need to start preparing sandwiches in advance for these streams.
That's not a bad idea.
Bring a bag lunch to my own stream. Put a Capri Sun in there and
some gummies, some fruit gummies.
A
single cookie.
It's a bit that like only for my benefit, but I get food out of it.
And what more can you ask for?
Get a Lunchable.
Jerky, I'm noticing the budget, the show budget. You spent $300 on Lunchables for.
Well, you know, groceries are getting really expensive now, but I just wanted something for like, you know, a week.
$300 in Lunchables, that'll last you a day.
Yeah. When's the last time you had a Lunchable?
In school, I have not had the nostalgia to be like, I should try a Lunchable. Even watching those Brutal Moose food reviews, I was not tempted to get a Lunchable. Alright!
That's it. We won.
And finally, I'm gonna give myself this one. Whew!
Congratulations, Cass.
Thank you very much.
I didn't
earned
get to
that
finish
one.
my Lunchables story.
Please do. I'll let you finish that.
When I was doing some like certification, like education stuff in 2018, or yeah, which was like on site. Like I needed something to eat, and I was like, you know what? Just fucking Lunchables. And they were good. They're still good, especially the pizza ones.
Oh, thank you for another gift sub in the chat today.
from me
Frappe
to
Fiasco, Tiger Bug is the beneficiary. That's good. That's a good prize, I think, for enduring this whole stream. Because for those of you who endured it, you're just as strong as we are. I mean, maybe not as strong. We actually have to play the damn thing, but you sat and watched it, and that deserves some amount of commendation for whoever endured. Let's take it to the epilogue screen, and here's that fan art I mentioned earlier by Moose Sater on DeviantArt. And while we're listening to this and watching this, we should probably give some of our thoughts on Action 52. Having gotten into the whole story, having detailed all the work that went into it, and the circumstances of it, and understanding that it was made under duress in 3 months by 4.5 people. What's your opinion on it, knowing all that?
I think it's amazing that it got finished. I think the story behind it is amazing. Like I said, that whole, like, the story of failing upwards without the upwards part. I'm glad I finally actually played some of these things. I had never actually touched Action 52. I was very aware of it, but never played it.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of people. And that's like another important thing in the Bad Game Hall of Fame is encouraging people to actually play these games rather than just taking it secondhand from an AVGN video or what have you. But,
yeah, so go play it yourself, because it's definitely interesting. It definitely feels like they had no resources to work from. You know, they didn't know what they were doing. Not derogatory. They didn't know what they were doing because they didn't have the opportunity to know what they were doing. But the way it came out feels like someone who had seen video games but didn't know how video games worked. Like, they never touched a controller, which they did, obviously. But it feels like someone who's never touched a controller but looked at video games and be like, yeah, this is probably how it works, right?
So, my perspective on this is, I find it very hard to get mad at Action 52. You get like a little frustrated when the game like doesn't behave the way you expect it to, or when games are just like so out there. But like at the same time, it's hard to get passionately angry about Action 52, especially knowing the backstory, because like legitimate effort went into it. There was an ambition here to deliver like on all these games and whatnot, and like the visuals in them are so surreal. The lack of understanding of control. It's an A tier. It's a legendary bad game for that, to be sure. Yeah, again, it's not the one that inspires anger unless you were someone who paid $200 for it back in 1991. Yeah. Like, that's the only situation where I can really imagine someone having a legitimate grievance against Action 52. The rest of you are playing it for free in your emulator, so...
I would also say maybe don't do what we did and play all 52 games in a row.
Yeah, maybe not.
Maybe space it out.
A little bit, maybe a teensy bit. I mean, we got through 3.5 hours, give or take, right?
Yeah. But I'm saying if you don't want to get angry at it, maybe don't play it all at once.
Yeah, like give yourself a game a day or something. 52 days of Action 52. Now that's the way to do it. And yeah, knowing the whole story behind it is really one of the most fascinating stories in video game development. There's a reason why all these people have been making the rounds, running their blogs, telling their stories, because I think they all realize that they lucked into being part of, like, a piece of video game history, to be sure. And then, you know, Greg Pavich realizing that and trying to cash in on it is absolutely, like, the seediest part of this. Like, so don't support Craig. Don't buy his reproduction cartridges or whatever. This is just a dude who is purely trying to capitalize. Support the people who actually worked on the game, who blood, sweat, and tears went into the game, and to letting us all play it today, and so on and so forth. Support whatever they do. Read their insights into it. There's, again, a few good blogs I'm going to recommend here, run by the people. Mario Gonzalez does not have a blog, but he's been interviewed a dozen times over. Albert Hernandez, the lead programmer, he has a blog called Memoirs of an Action 52 Programmer. I will link to that in chat. I'll link to all these in chats. So you can check out his blogging here. It's actually on BoardGameGeek.com, but he runs his blog there. Developer number 4, the unnamed developer number 4. He runs blog.action52prototype.com. That's where you can go to see his musings on the game. Javier Perez does not have a website yet, but it's only a matter of time, right? For the 52nd anniversary of Action 52, he'll come out of the woodwork and write his tell-all. The book I'll recommend is Licensed to Cheetah Print Money, an Action 52 story by Andrew Reap. That's what we pulled from, all the quotations earlier, so I do recommend reading that if you just want to have it all in one handy compendium. If you're familiar with the Action 52 story after hearing it here today, this will fill in some of the details of it. I think it misses a few things. Like, I don't even know if it acknowledges the fact that no one got paid for the game, ultimately. So I think
didn't they only get, like, a very small advance, and, like, that was it?
Yeah, so I think it misses a few of the details like that, but ultimately, like, it is sourced from all the blogs and stuff that I just linked to, so it is handy in that sense. And again, it's like, I'll write an article one day, and maybe that'll become the new definitive piece of Action 52 storytelling. But, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's good that we got this one out of the way. It's good to have it archived. It's good to get this out there and to tell the story and some of the bits of it that don't always get included in the storytelling. Yeah, and I don't know. There's a few games in there that I could see, like, becoming, like, good games. That if they've taken the time to, like, really cement something as Streemerz, you know, like,
yeah.
Granted, it's like ripping off Bionic Commando, like, with the idea of, like, pulling yourself, instead of having a jump, having the rope or the streamer, as whatever you want to call it, right? Like, obviously these games are all very inspired by, like, pre-existing games, but I think there's a few of them with their weirdo sensibilities and surrealism that could have been spun off into interesting products in their own right, potentially.
Yeah, I would actually recommend, again, like, just, you know, on that note of, like, you know, these games could be made into something fun. Yeah, go look up Streemerz by Arthur Lee or Mr. Pundunkian. It's on Super Fun Dungeon Run. It's a fun little send up to Streemerz and Bionic Commando.
Most definitely. We're gonna wrap it up for the Bad Game Hall of Fame for tonight, having gone long, but I felt good about that. I think we needed to do it all in one. I didn't want to break this up into multiple chunks, truth be told. Let's see who we can raid as well. Who is streaming at this late hour? Not really anyone, unfortunately. That is the side effect of going long, as it were. Macaw is playing what appears to be some sort of Sonic game. Macaw45. We'll go that route. Not that he needs it. He has 1.3 thousand viewers right now, so I don't know if we're gonna make too big a difference, but
give him the Bad Game Hall of Fame bump, you know.
Yeah, clearly. And we'll be back with more games. We'll eventually have to do Action 52 on Genesis, Cheetahmen 2, so on and so forth. And we'll fill in the rest of the story, whatever remains to be told at that time. But thank you, Charkie, for enduring this with me, the whole 52 game gauntlet.
No problem.
And bye.
Good night, everybody.